What a piece of junk!
This is the Shattered Order Podcast.
Go switch off!
If you're looking for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes news, information, and theory crafting, you've found the podcast you're looking for. With your hosts, Goodnight Punk and Windkiller Inc.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 137th episode of the Shattered Order Podcast. I'm your host, Goodnight Punk, and with me, as always, is my good friend Wink. But you might also notice right there in the middle of your screen, for the third time, I believe, our good Tom, our good Tom McMole. What's up, Tom?
That's my new name, McTom.
McTom2.
McTom2. I'm gonna make a shirt for that now. Speaking of shirts.
Oh yeah, got some.
Speaking of shirts, indeed.
Speaking of shirts,
yeah, the McMole podcast.
Yeah, we're all matching this week. Yeah, call the exterminator. Moles everywhere.
For a good Tom call.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Nice.
All right. Well, as far as intros go, how you been doing, McMole? It's been a while.
It has been a very long time. I should come around more often. I think maybe.
I think so. I'm cool with that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think the last time I came on was right when we had the Treya kit revealed, and we were talking about that.
You know what? That sounds very familiar, actually.
Yeah, because you had your other friend on too. I can't remember his name.
Oh, the elephant in the room?
Sure.
Yeah. Was he here in my house?
No. I think he was hanging out with his girlfriend. I can't remember.
Oh man. Well, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch.
Yeah,
for sure. One day, I'm for sure that we'll have you back on. Even if you come on before this, but when the clones are reworked, we will definitely be having you back, because I know me and you, and especially Wink, will want to talk about that. So
yes, we will.
Oh, for sure, indeed.
the happiness in that voice was so apparent.
Yes, I cannot wait for that day. Yay! They're so terrible.
All right, so
you mean terribly awesome?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I took out of what he said. So,
no, terrible, just terrible. Period. Awful.
Well, we've got some droids to talk about tonight, like a lot of droids to talk about tonight. But before we get into all that, I want to mention something that I talked about last week on the podcast, and that is our guild deployments, the way we do guild deployments for territory battles. And McMole should know this pretty well, because you're pretty good friends with FN, right?
FN 2187, right?
Yes, FN 2187. Yeah, so he's the one that taught me how to do it. He's the one that helped me set up everything. So this is all coming from that area. But I was talking with FN 2187 today, and we are going to work on basically a blank spreadsheet, and that can be used by any guild, anyone out there, depending on what your GP is. Doesn't matter. Figure out how to make it work so that everyone can get their stuff in to it and make it work. So we're going to work on a spreadsheet this week for that, and once we get that spreadsheet done, I'm going to do a live stream on our Twitch account to basically show everything about the spreadsheet and how it's used and how you can make it work for your guild to do deployments. So that should be sometime next week. If not next week, I will have information on the next podcast about when we're going to have that ready to go. And then I know a lot of people have been asking about this week. So I'm gonna start a Discord channel on our Discord where you guys can ask questions about that, and FN's gonna check in there for your questions and answer anything you have for him before we get that spreadsheet done. But until then, hold out hope, because we are going to have something for everyone. So that's coming up.
Very exciting. I'm sure people will absolutely love that because, if it's any indication by how territory battles have gone since we implemented that, it is just so much less of a headache.
Mm-hmm.
So
Agreed.
All right. So I got something to play.
Oh no.
This is the perfect week to play it, thanks to the Grievous rework, and shout out to Salacious Thumb for putting this together. This was pretty awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that real quick.
Come and play. What is your name?
Good night, punk.
Tell me.
Tweak.
What sort of nobody believes they can face me
The
today?
Shattered Order podcast.
Did you think I wouldn't see through your bluffing? Another amateur for me to educate. No strategy can save you. So, you've come to perish. I fear nothing. Seek a weakness you will not find. I have toppled nations. I have slain kings. Armies have built before me. Alone or together, I will slay you all.
Later.
Hey, don't leave.
Later.
Please, try to run. We face cowards. Weakling, you only prolong your agony. Crush
The Shattered Order podcast.
make them suffer.
I love that. The first time I heard
Yeah,
it,
it
was
was-
cracking me up.
Super awesome.
I feel
so-
like that's lines taken from like Battlefront or something.
It has to be, right? Because it doesn't seem like that's from the movies.
No, that definitely feels like lines taken from the Battlefront games or something.
Yeah, that was really well done and awesome. We've got another one that he made that we'll play. Maybe we'll play it next week at the beginning of the show. Very, very awesome. So big, huge shout out and thank you for putting that together. Super awesome.
Yeah, it fit perfectly for this week for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. I didn't have time to actually get it set up for the beginning of the show. Running late, so.
Surprise!
Isn't that surprising? Yeah, us running late. Yay. All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into our first topic?
Hey guys, what did you do in Swoga this week?
All right, this week in Swugga, lots of exciting stuff here. Actually, not really. I did, however, take General Grievous to Gear 12. I took B2 to Gear 11. So I've got this and then I've just kind of been farming because I suspect that this may be a resource drain and there might be something else coming in the future. Vasilshan, 59 out of 100. Karth, 15 out of 30. And Juhani, 22 out of 30 so far. And I am doing a lot of refreshes on those nodes. Basically doing as many attempts on them as I can with 100 crystal refreshes, except for Karth. I am going up to the 50 crystal node refresh on him, and that's it. But yeah, that was pretty much my week in Swugga. McMole2, did you do anything exciting?
I took Grievous up to Gear 12, and I just finished his Gear 12 Plus this morning. And yeah, I wailed on Droidicum B1, but now I'm thinking twice about that. But I'm sure we'll talk about that more later.
We will.
Sweet.
Yeah, but no, I mean, really, it was mostly just focusing on the separatist droids.
Gotcha.
That's surely an amazing investment.
So
What's that?
Oh God, let's not go down that rabbit hole yet. Are you ready with do you have the Old Republic guys ready? I think you do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen you talking about the Karth team, so I'm pretty sure you have them ready to go. So you already know the information of what I want to know, because I really want that Karth dot team, because I think it's going to be awesome once I get it going.
Yeah, it's pretty
Is it
good,
awesome?
but
All right.
it's pretty good. But I think the Gamorrean God's probably gonna be better.
I agree. Well, he does dots on his basics, so he might go in the Karth team. You know,
Funnily, back when Karth first came out, that was one of the characters we thought about. We're like, what stupid, pointless characters could we possibly throw in there? We had Gamorrean Guard, Tusken Shaman. Both of those were like at the top of our list of like stupid characters that possibly we could throw in a Karth team and see what happens. Oh,
Nice.
GMP disappeared. Where'd he go?
I'm back.
There he is.
Wow.
The
It's
Wampa got
usually
out.
me that disappears.
The Wampa
was
got out.
kidnapped.
Okay, I had to put the Wampa back in its cage.
Wampa
Was the one that I really wanted to try with that team because of all the.
Oh
dots.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Wampa was a go-to character to use in the Karth team.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as far as went, there was really nothing. So I did finally get to that 4th level of the Jedi Knight quest, which apparently has 4 territory wins. So I know that's why. Now I know why you were looking for territory wins a month or so ago. But so I got those territory war wins and the 5 top 10 heroic AAT finishes to do. But that's where the mistakes almost started. I needed 10 Gear 11 Jedis, and I only had 9. So I'm like, okay, well, who would be easy? And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to take Eth Koth to Gear 11 because he was Gear 10 and needed 3 pieces. Those 3 pieces happened to be all the raid pieces from the Rancor.
Nice.
Before I decided to change, I changed to Ezra because Ezra needed a stun gun, but I didn't want to do him only because it was a stun gun, and I'm tired of farming stun guns. But
They're terrible.
I stopped
But it's
myself.
Ezra.
Yes. See, that's exactly what everyone else said. So I went with Ezra because it's Ezra, and because he has the ship that I'm using, but I just haven't geared him. So I'm taking him to Gear 11. But I almost Gear 11 Eth Koth. And people ask me why.
I can't
but
believe you didn't have Ezra already geared. He's so
I don't use
good.
him for anything. Well, I didn't have old Ben geared. I didn't have Anakin geared. I didn't have half those Jedi. I didn't have any Jedi geared before Revan.
That's true. That's true.
That's the way it went down.
So, funny story about Eth Koth. On one of my Grievous videos the other day, I had someone actually ask me if Eth Koth was going to be a good counter to General Grievous and the droids. And I didn't know how to respond.
Good news.
Well,
you don't need toys and tricks like that to beat the droids. So it's okay. And besides, you'd probably want I'm a Gun D over Eth Koth, let's be honest. At least he has a little better kit. But it's funny, I have this weird affinity for Eth Koth just because he was so easy to get back in the day, and he was one of the 5 Jedi that got me Grandmaster Yoda. So
do you remember how people farmed him up because his anti-droid synergies, and they thought he was going to be great in the droid? Yeah, and in the tank raid. Yeah.
Look, just throw out that second special. It's going to do massive damage.
I may or may not have been one of those people.
Is yours Gear 11 or 12?
I think I got it up to Gear 10, and then I realized what on earth I was doing, and I stopped.
You're like, oh, look at all these Rancor raid pieces. Nope.
Yeah, I quickly saw the error in my ways.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, last thing I want to update was my farms. Because people like to know how things are progressing. But Badstilla, I got her at 9 out of 100 now. So I'm in the home stretch there. And I'm thinking that I'm probably going to stop when I get her to 50. I might even stop doing the refreshes on her and move them all to Juhani. Because I think I can get that last 41 shards off of just regular farming the next couple of weeks. But Juhani, I've got 12 out of 65. Thank goodness I bought those formerly $10 packs. Because I got her 12 out of 65, and I've got Karth at 10 out of 65. So, yeah.
That explains. I was wondering how you got so many. I forgot that you usually buy the
remember
former $10 packs.
Remember those $10 packs I said I'm not buying ever again? And then I went and bought?
Yeah, how'd that work out for you?
Well,
it never lasts, does it?
Yeah, whatever. Anger, still bought. Oh, okay, whatever. But
so funny that you mentioned that about Bastila. That's exactly what I did. I just moved all my farming over to Juhani and completely quit doing node refreshes on Bastila because it's like you can finish her later and not worry about it quite as much.
Yeah, because you're really gonna have. I assume I'm not saying this 100%, but I assume you're gonna have options to, if you're close to that 100 mark, at least 50. With what happened last time, to be able to get those last ones. So if you can use that extra energy to pull those other characters in, probably a better idea, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't see why they wouldn't bring back the 50 shard packs for those characters.
The real gamble's gonna be like how they mix them together, because with Zalbar and Mission, I needed the Mission ones. I didn't need the Zalbar ones. So that, I'm thinking maybe Karth and Canderous would be together. Who are the other two? Well, I guess there's only 4, so it might be two.
Yeah,
I
think Hot Topic Bastila is gonna be in her own pack. I mean, Mission and Zalbar made sense because they had synergies together, and Bastila and Jolie made sense because they were Jedi and same faction, everything. So it made sense to have those two characters together in their packs.
Yeah, that would leave Juhani alone in her own pack then.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, unless they've mixed her with HK47, because I think we can all here agree that HK47 is probably going to be number 5, and probably going to get a Zeta. I'm guessing.
What makes you think that he could possibly get a Zeta?
Just a thought. It's Dan Stradamus in full effect.
Hopefully people saw that, and because it spread like wildfire. If you've been on Reddit, I'm sure you saw that.
It is actually part of the poll, so we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But
perfect.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, it'll pop up on the screen when we talk about the poll. If not, then just search Reddit. You'll find it really easy. Now, why don't we cover some few quick things from the update, Wink? What do you say?
Real quick before we jump to the update, wanted to mention, I totally forgot this. I was going to talk about this at the beginning of the show and I forgot, but our good friend Mubaka has got another one of his just really amazing Husky reports, and of course you can find that at shatteredorder.com. Those are always just simply brilliant, and so make sure you go read it because you will no doubt be entertained.
You're talking about the new one that just came out, right?
The Fire Festival?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that was very good. That was very clever of him.
Always on the meta right there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Indeed. All right, so let's go ahead and jump to the update.
Strong with us, this update is Young Padawans.
Alrighty, the update.
I didn't put much into I didn't actually put the update into the notes because I almost forgot that it happened because there wasn't a lot in it. It did bring with it the GG rework and the IG-100 rework, as well as the Droideca Marquee event. But the one thing I wanted to mention, because we were here talking about Old Republic farms, is that Karth and Juhani, right at the last tail end of their time frame for marquees going free to play, it seems like, did finally drop on the table. And Juhani, not surprising, I actually did think that she was going to be a hard node. Dropped on light side battle 6A hard, which is nice because I could drop my Jango Fett farm a little bit for a while I work on her and still get the light side hard nodes, or the light side nodes off of that every day for sure. But the one that kind of surprised me, and I want to know what you guys thought, Cartho Nassi dropped on Fleet Battles 2E. I thought he was going to be a Cantina myself. What did you guys think?
I did not think he was going to be Cantina. I kind of figured he'd be Fleet because we haven't seen anything there, and there's already one of these characters in the Cantina.
Yeah, I mean, there was no way they're going to make this farm easy, let's be honest.
But there were two, but just to go back to what Wink said, there were two Cantina farms for the last round. So it's not unheard of. And also, as far as Fleet, as far as things going to Fleet goes, there is something that went there recently in Jedi Knight Anakin's A2 Starfighter. What is it? I can't remember.
ETA-2.
There you go. So there was something that went there. So, but it was still kind of. I had to stop my Starfighter farm now to go straight after Karth.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know where all four of these newer KOTOR characters are in terms of farming, because I haven't had to worry. No, Dark Basila's 8A hard dark side? I can't remember.
She's on dark side for sure.
I believe so.
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
Yeah, well, like you mentioned that, Revan required 2 Cantina farms. Don't forget, these characters probably are not going to be used to get Revan. They're probably going to be used to unlock those 3 Zeta abilities that Gamorrean Guard's probably going to have. So
his name is actually...
They would naturally change it up.
Yeah, his name's actually being changed to Gamorrean God. It's,
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
One of them, one of those Zetas better unlock Deathmark. I'm just saying.
We all thought General Grievous was the GG that CG was talking about that was going to get a rework and be the meta. It was actually going to be Gamorrean.
Yes. That makes a lot of sense.
You know what's really funny to me about that is that if they did do that, there are so many people. There are so many people that do not have Gamorrean Guard that I know. And I'm like, like not even a shard. And I'm like,
honestly,
what?
Honestly, I would love this game forever if Gamorrean Guard got 3 Zetas. It was the new meta.
Oh man,
that would be hilarious.
Give him Deathmark. Stop using the second special first. Make the first special taunt first every time. Get those 3 Zetas out there. Gamorrean Guard everywhere. That's how you bring old crappy characters into the meta. There you go. Cup, 3 Zetas. Mob Enforcer, 3 Zetas. Good to go.
Yeah, Mob Enforcer, Cup, Gamorrean Guard, and let's do Lobot and one other character. There's no synergy between them, but their kits are just so overpowered that it just beats everything.
That's a good point.
The 5 biggest plug-and-play characters ever.
Yeah, no kidding.
I love it.
All right, so what else was in the update?
So there was a lot of packs. That happens when there's reworks and marquees.
Yawn.
Yeah, no. Once we get down here a little bit further, there's one of the bug fixes I wanted to talk about. Unit fixed a bug where Jedi Knight Revan's direct focus would not properly ignore enemies with taunt, marked, or damage immunity. Now, the only reason I bring this up is because it seems like a lot of people think that this change has affected the way he direct focuses people. Now, a lot of people are complaining that Traya isn't the one being marked every time now. That's what and he's just sporadically peppering direct focus all around everywhere now. To me, that sounds good, but apparently it's causing a lot of people problems. I don't
Yeah,
know.
so this was actually
I haven't noticed.
it's a stealth change. They changed his mechanics on direct focus and who he prioritizes. They took out the priority for Traya and Nihilus. So now he'll just direct focus any random target no matter who's in there.
So
Yeah, I
I mean,
think I saw-
that's a nerf to Raven.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily a nerf to Revit. It's gonna be hard for your Traya teams to adjust because your Traya teams were like stacking up defense and protection stuff to counter the fact that Revan would do the mass assist straight on her, and so they had her all beefed up. And now Revan's just gonna mark someone else and just wipe out that character. And their whole strategy of using Traya to like absorb all that hits is no longer viable. So they have to adjust now.
Yeah, because you could go when you know what the order of operations is, basically you can plan for that. But when it becomes random across 5 people, then it's
That is
much
true.
harder. So
Yeah, so it's technically a buff for Revan, which you know is exactly what everybody wants right now. So yeah,
Well, I don't know because there are no Treyas in like my top 50. There might be one, but it's basically all Revan and like one Finn. It's ridiculous.
that Finn's not gonna last much longer.
he's gonna ride that train
That's
till it
true.
hits the end of the track.
He's
All right.
heading out.
Oh,
Enjoy
man.
it while it lasts.
Cannot wait
You know
for
what's
that
funny?
rework.
I was messing with my arena team. Somebody was talking in our Discord channel about like the most difficult teams to deal with, and there were several people thought mine was one of the more frustrating ones to battle with, and it got me looking at my mods closer, and I realized they still have secondary speed on them, but 3 characters on my arena team do not have speed arrows. My General Kenobi has a crit avoidance arrow, Jolie with a health arrow, and Grandmaster Yoda with an offense arrow. So that combined with what we're going to talk about with the droid reworks and everything, I really like that it seems like CG is trying to push into a direction that kind of de-emphasizes speed being the holy grail. I've kind of argued for a while that there are a lot of other great arrows that should be used instead of speed on many characters, but it seems like they're starting to build kits that actually favor in that direction as well, which I am a huge fan of. Do y'all agree, or am I crazy?
No, you're definitely right.
Well, we're going to talk about Droideka's kit here in a little bit, and you'll see kind of an idea that goes along with that. So whether that's working the way it's supposed to, that's another question. But they did put something in there trying to kind of work that. But why don't we move on to our community-centered part of the show?
Since everyone loves a good poll, let's dance through the results and see what you thought this week.
Where do you guys even
Alrighty,
come up with
poll
these
time.
things?
Well, okay, so that one, the sultry female just totally came up with that one. I was like, I want to do something. We do a poll every week, come up with something, and she just basically pulled that from God only
Did you
knows
say
where.
poll?
Like, it was-
Oh, I got an idea.
Oh no.
Alrighty, well, this week...
Pretty much.
Yeah. This week the poll was labeled... Let's see here. We reworked the hosts into droids. So if you don't know, we're now droids. It's a surprise.
Wait, does that mean I'm a droid too?
That means that maybe after the show, someone's going to pop through that door behind you and put in all your chips.
See, if someone comes through that door, I'll be impressed because that's like a utility closet.
Well, I'm just saying. That would be creepy. I hope it
I'd be like-
happens because it'll
I would
be
just be
on
like-
video. It'll be beautiful.
I'd be like, where would you even come from?
I'm from the future.
How long have you been hiding in
kids-
there?
Your kids are in trouble, Marty.
Oh, God.
All right, first question. The first question we asked was, apparently we were excited for the Grievous rework. Now that we have seen the kit, how good is it? This is a question based solely on the kit reveal and what you thought of it when you saw it. So, surprisingly, this does not have the same bell curve that I said always happens last week. They totally bucked that trend.
That's true.
And did something totally different. So, no, that's the wrong button. Some of you guys probably just saw about half a second of intro. Enjoy that.
Nice.
All right.
So we had 162 responses this week, and of course this is on a 1 to 5 scale. Nobody of 162 people, not a single person put that it was a 5.
Yeah, not one. Surprising.
I'm shocked. Like, I kind of figured somebody would, but zero.
Always get the trolls on the low side that are always like, I'm gonna put the lowest number just because I'll be the only one. That's fine. Yep. No one put even a 1 on a 5 for Grievous's reworked kit. So
crazy.
There you go.
And then 14% of people put a 4. And then in a total and complete landslide, 88 people, 54% put a 3 as basically average, middle of the road. I mean, this is not what people were expecting from the Grievous rework. Just from this, I'm assuming people are pretty disappointed. I assume we're going to talk more about this later, but based on the poll, I would say the community in general is pretty disappointed based on this so far. So, I mean, 86% of pollers said it was average or below. That's just, it's crazy.
Well, it's kind of weird too, because when I did read the kit, I probably would have put it as the 3 to 4 range, but everyone's rolling with the 2 to 3 range. So I guess it doesn't. It's a little worse off than what I was thinking, but I can see it because reading the kit and not playing it yet, the whole idea of damaging your opponents at the beginning, it's the beginning of their turns, correct? Or is it the beginning of Grievous' turn?
Beginning of Grievous's turn.
Yeah, so the beginning of Grievous' turn, every time is hitting his opponents. When you're stacking health on him, you're hitting 8% health on every one of them. That just seemed rough from the get-go, even not knowing what everyone else did. To me, that's kind of what dropped it to me, because it's just a weird interaction. Now, that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just something that I saw and had a lot of questions about. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
All right, so moving on to question 2. What you got there, Wink?
No. I was just going to move on. Carry on.
All right, question 2. There is some concern that what was shown to us in General Grievous rework video may have been showing a false bill of goods. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, on Monday, Arnold T101 put out a video, basically a video interview with the devs, exclusive thing with the General Grievous kit, and as well as a bunch of gameplay. And in that gameplay, they were rolling. Like, they were just destroying everything in their path. So it was really high hopes on Monday when we saw this video of the kit.
No doubt.
But developers later explained that they were showing Grievous in the best possible light. So God mods, full 12+ gear, etc. The question is, do you feel that this is deceptive, or should they be showing characters, or should they be showing characters in the best possible situation? So basically the question is, do you want to see them where you can play them at, or do you want to see them where if they were your sole focus and everything you were putting into them to get them to the very top as a team, what that would get you? Where do you fall on that spectrum, I guess? What do you think, McMole? Where would you sit?
I mean, I agree with like the sort of majority that you just can't believe everything you see. But I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's that, yeah, they need to be more transparent about that kind of stuff. I think in their update they said Grievous had 65,000 health. I can't put that. I can't get Grievous to that on my mods, and I mean I'm up on the higher end of GP for people in the game. I can't get 65,000 health on Grievous. I can't achieve those kind of numbers. So I mean that's kind of like a pipe dream for most of your players out there. That hey, this is what Grievous could do if you could ever get the mods for it, and 90% of your players are never going to be able to get to that level.
Right.
Well, here's the thing, though. I mean, you are competing against a Revan team, and most people, or a lot of the top tier Revan teams at this point, are going to have full gear 12 plus, or maybe not full gear 12, but are going to have a lot of gear 12 plus, and so I don't think like apples that way. The thing about the way you mod General Grievous is far different than the way you generally mod anyone else. And I think that is obviously going to factor in because people still do have in their heads that speed's really all that matters. They don't look at other stats for the most part. And General Grievous's kit really does favor towards people that have, spread out their mods a little bit more and stuff. If I was able to get the Gear 12 Plus pieces for General Grievous, I could get him to around 65k or so, around like what they were talking about. But I've invested pretty heavily in health mods here lately, and so it's obviously advantageous for this. But I like that they are kind of spreading the wealth as far as mods go. But I mean, I kind of fall in the don't believe everything you see on the internet category. It's kind of, I mean, I don't really have an issue with the way they did it. They obviously want to show him in the best possible light. I do think more transparency would have been useful. Maybe, something that showed the mods and gave us some sort of comparison. But at the same time, if they do that, I don't think people are entirely going to understand because, like, General Grievous, he really doesn't need speed. So people are going to be like, oh, he doesn't have great mods on him, when really, yeah, he does kind of have God mods. It's just not the stats that you are generally looking for. So people probably wouldn't convey that information the way they should. So what the hell's the point? It's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there.
So.
Well, let's see what everyone else agreed with. So the 42% of people said, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Well, that's a good place to be. I know I've said things are going to be awesome that suck. I know I've said things are going to suck that it turn out to be awesome. That stuff always happens. But, you really gotta figure it out for yourself, right? Now, you can make educated decisions based on, people you trust, but yeah, I wouldn't say that you always got to let things work themselves out. 29% said yes, most players will never be able to field the mods required to get there. They know that what average health mods are, why not use them? And the third piece of the pie that was biggest was 15% said no. While the tape may be something I will never achieve, I want to know what is possible. So you kind of cover all three areas there. Some people want to see theirs, some people want to see what can happen, and some people say, show me whatever you want. I'm going to believe what I believe when I see it. So
yeah,
it's pretty much the breakdown there. Now, as for question 3, the question was, which character do you think is best out of what we got in the past few weeks? Now, you got an IG-100 rework, a IG or a B2 Super Battle Droid rework, you got a GG rework, you got the B1 Battle Droid, and you got Droideka. So out of those 5 characters, we asked you which you think is the best coming out of all of this. And before we go on the answers, I want to ask you two what you guys thought. McMole, go ahead.
Ooh, this one's tough. Honestly, I'd say out of all of them, probably B2.
How about you, Wayne?
Okay, so I think it depends on what you're looking at exactly. I think B2 has he's more plug and play. He's always been a good character. Like, there's not really been a point in this game where he's been bad, just because his kit is so much character. The way he gains the turn meter and he has the AoE dispel. Like, he's always been good. He's always been usable. He's a character you can take into teams and use him. So, I'm going to eliminate him because of how good I think he already was, and I'm going to go with Droideka because he brings a kit that is much different, kind of like B2, much different than anything else we have in the game. He has a lot of synergy with other Separatist droids, which I love. The attacking out of turn, damage immunity, a lot of really cool things. But more importantly than anything else, every time we've ever had a survey, every time there's ever been anything where somebody asked me what character I want in the game, my answer is Droideka, even over Jedi Luke, because I feel like that's obvious. Droideka is the one, like, just kind of odd character, like, not high, like, top tier character from Star Wars that I have wanted in this game, and I am just really having to restrain myself to not wail on getting Droideka because I think that character is just freaking awesome, and the kit is so good.
If it helps, Wink, the new Marquee Mega Pack, it's a whole lot cheaper than the old Marquee Pack, so you'll save like $100 if you take him up to 7 stars.
You know, what's funny is we
Just
were
saying.
talking.
Don't tell me this.
That's actually really good news, to be honest, because as far as we were talking about those packs when they came out and we on the surface they seemed worse off, but in the end they actually wound up better off. So as we go, and if this happens again, we'll see how that goes. But the early returns on what we've seen from data is a lot better off than it used to be. So I'll have to retract my statements on that after we see maybe a couple more of these, but we'll see.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few people get Droideka to 7 stars with just one vault, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, as far as those characters go, yeah, there you go, bud. We're always trying to tempt Wink here. B2 was the #1 vote getter with 35%. Now, and then it drops into 2 that were almost a tie, and that went between the B1 Battle Droid was second with 30%, and with 26% was Droideka. Now, General Grievous was in there with 10%, but one you don't even see a vote for, IG-100.
Yeah, I'm kind of underwhelmed with him.
It seems that you are not in the minority there, so not a single vote for IG-100. We'll see why once we read over his kit.
That's good because he requires like 1,000 Carbonis.
Oh, that guy was a pain in the ass to gear up.
I ain't gearing him. Ain't gonna happen.
I cried the whole way that I took him up to gear 12.
Oh.
Droideka was pretty close behind Magna Guard in terms of gear. Droideka's bad too. It's like what, 5 stun guns, 4 cups, 4 syringes, 3 of the gold strength pieces. It's stupid. So pretty much all the money that you're gonna save on the Marquee Mega Bundle for buying Droideka up to 7 stars, you're gonna spend all of that on the gear to get Droideka up to gear 12.
Now you're seeing why it's happening.
That may factor into why they went with the new packs, is because they can make so much on the gear, and with gear 12 becoming increasingly more valuable, they're like putting those packs in there too. So, you know, that could have something to do with it. Move on to the next question. So we got 3 reworks and 2 new droids in the past 2 weeks. A hell of a lot of new Zetas. Which Zetas have you already purchased? And basically the options were General Grievous, B2, or Droideka, there's one I don't see a vote on. I don't know why it's not showing up on here. But then also the option of none. and none took the cake in a freaking landslide of 82%.
And you know what's funny is when I put out the poll, none wasn't an option, and the question was required. So people that had none were like, I was bombarded by ats and mentions saying, hey, why isn't there a none option? And I'm like, oh, that should definitely be a thing. So I put it in there, and guess what? Blew up. That is the #1 answer. So seems that the overwhelming majority of people have not put a lot into these guys, which kind of makes me wonder why the outcry is so loud. But we'll get we'll keep moving along. But the highest one here was General Grievous with 17 for his leadership, and then second behind that was B1 Battle Droids Unique, which I think if you don't have B1 Battle Droids Unique in this team, you're just asking for
screwed.
it to fail. So
yeah.
I said this when we read the kit last week. That Zeta is probably almost going to be. I mean, I said it was going to be required, and I'm pretty sure if you don't have that Zeta, you're not helping yourself out at all.
Yeah, if you don't have that Zeta, you're one direct focus away from losing B1 out of the gate.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, but because of General Grievous's kit, I'm not sure that it's that bad losing B1. I mean, I think that's probably like the fourth most important Zeta, maybe.
The thing is, like, when the matches go correctly for me, because I've been trying this team out in Arena for 2 days now, I think. And yeah, with if everything goes correctly, all of those stacks of the droid battalion, because you're going to constantly use the B1's AoE to heal up someone who's low on protection. Like if someone gets marked, you're just going to spam that AoE from the B1 because you're just going to keep healing up that character who's marked, and that's how you survive like just the mass assists and the marked and everything on that one character. So having those 50 extra stacks right out of the gate already on him is going to do great because that's so much more healing that's going to be going to that droid.
That's true, but a lot of other really good Zetas too. But we'll talk about these in the when we get to the kits. And we'll rehash this argument. We'll go ahead and move on to the next question. Which Zetas do you plan to purchase in the near future? Near future is within the next 2 to 3 months. Only mark options you have not already purchased. So of these, again, none was 62%, but we got a little bit more as far as, you know, the other ones that people are thinking. And like you said, B1 was by far the biggest percent there, had 34 votes. B1 was the top of the ones that were actually voted on. Number 2 was B2 Super Battle Droids Unique, which I think is extremely good. And then the next, the third option was General Grievous's leadership. Anything surprising here to y'all?
And even then, only one vote behind that was Droideka's Unique.
Yep.
So Grievous leadership and Droideka's Unique sitting there in the same spot. But that doesn't mean that like they're picking that one over the other one because they might already have the leadership. So this might be their next one. But those are the ones that are sitting there. The lowest vote, though, and it's not surprising considering not a single vote for IG-100's rework, is IG-100's special Stunning Strike with only 4 people voting for that Zeta. So,
yeah.
You asked for surprises. I gave you the not surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised that many people are planning on Zetaing it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that people are even bothering with the Magna Guard.
Well, it's kind of like me. It's probably a lot like me with the Ewoks, whereas I had them all Gear 12 maxed out, ready to go. But I always saw, you know, Logray and Paplu's Zetas staring at me, and I'm like, you know what? I got 5 Zetas sitting here. I'm gonna throw one on one of these dudes, and then I build up another one, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw the other one on the other dude. Why not? Now the team is just completely done. So
I have the Zeta on Logray, and I stopped myself before doing any more.
See, I would probably rather have the Paplu one than the Logray one, and I did Logray first, so yeah. I had to finish it. I don't know.
That's fair.
Quick on these next two questions, but the next one was now that you've seen the complete Separatist droid faction for now, how well do you think this faction plays compared to your expectations from the movies, shows, and books? So basically, does the faction play to what they are in the movies? Now, this is the same bell curve as the first question, where 3 has 48% and 2 and 4 are sitting right around 21%. And I think it's kind of funny because as we keep saying we'll talk about this later because I don't want to start big talks about this right now, but they got a 3, but in the movies the droids are kind of dumb and terrible. And the 3, I would think that the 5 might be the proper answer currently.
I have to say, I like the descriptions, the text descriptions on the sides. Especially the one about the droids getting the flu. That's a very nice touch.
Good job, Frostvirus. Frostvirus, once again, I want to say I appreciate you for putting these polls out there for us and volunteering to do that. It's pretty great. But yeah, he does a good job with these. Pretty funny. So yeah, they're putting it right around the middle compared to the movies. Right now, I say it's probably a 5, but that's me. Okay, you all said story was the most important to a faction, but I know what you really think. How powerful do you think this faction is now? And literally the same thing. 3 right in the middle, 46%, with a 2 coming in second with 29%, and 4 coming in third at 20%. So right around in the middle there, leaning towards the under average section on how good this faction is. Which is let's go ahead.
I put a 4 for that one. They're not. I would probably put 5 if it was a consistent rev encounter, but 4 from everything we've seen so far with testing them in arena and against other teams, they besides CLS and Treya and Revan, anything else is like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, the other teams just have no chance.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely... Yeah. I have some thoughts. But man, it's hard to compress them until we get to the meat of the conversation. But I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Next question. Lastly, how much fun do you think the faction is now? Now, this one kind of swerves the other way. 3 is still the highest with 35%, but 4 right behind it with 31%. So people do think it's an above average fun to play team. It's just right now it's not meeting their expectations of what they want it to do. Now, granted, that might not be the case going forward, but that's where we're sitting at now. A 3 to 4 above average fun to play team. And this one did have 5s on it. There was almost 8% of people said that they were one of the top fun teams to play. So there is hope as far as how fun it is. As far as the viability goes, it's been 2 days. I will say that. And we know for a fact that a lot of times we will get into something that we think sucks, and within 2 weeks, suddenly we all figure it out. It's like a light bulb goes off, and it's all not doom and gloom like we thought. You know what I mean? So,
and a lot of that's related to mods. You know, as they build these kits that favor less conventional modding strategies, as we'll kind of talk about later with some of these kits, you know, that's going to affect things, especially in the first 48 hours of a team being released.
Yeah, I mean, remember Chewbacca when he first came out? How, like, everybody thought he sucked. And it turns out once we had him modded correctly, it worked so much better. Because everybody ran, like, super fast speed on Han, and that was a fantastic way to kill off Chewie in 30 seconds.
Yeah, no kidding. That is for sure. Yeah, it's... that's one thing I do like about the state of the game is there's a wide variety of, you know, you don't have to mod everyone the exact same way anymore. It's kind of nice. On to the next question. The 3 Zeta Gamorrean Guard. Huh.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
HK-47. Does anything at all seem fishy here?
Nope. Move along, citizen. Nothing to
Nope.
see here.
Nothing to see here. Gamguard, finally going to be the man I want him to be. Super stoked.
So on this one, there were 4 possible answers. At 12%, we had Goodnight Punk is going to be so happy that they're reworking his already Gear 12 Gamorrean Guard. Yes,
Wait.
that would be very exciting for.
Is your
Goodnight.
Gamorrean Guard Gear 12?
That was a miscalculation. Mine is Gear 11, 4 out of 6.
Oh, thank God. You
I'm almost there.
barely, you barely dodged the bullet on that
on
one.
the off chance that he does get 3 Zetas, I might take him to Gear 12 anyway. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Nice. So there were 2 more answers that were tied at 14.2%. One of the answers was it's a stand-in for something, but not necessarily Darth Revan. The other response was we all know Darth Revan is coming eventually, but the operating word here is eventually. We could be seeing. I cannot see the rest of that question.
We could be, if you hover over it, you can see it. We could be seeing the release here for August. Now,
Yes.
Awesome. Here's where McMole, are you a KOTOR guy? Do you know like the lore and that type of stuff?
No, not really.
Okay, so then this is a question we can't answer. Maybe the chat will, but we're saying Darth Revan. Everyone's saying Darth Revan, but a lot of people said that they think that maybe Darth Malak might come, and I think there was another one from KOTOR that they also could see coming. HK-47 was Revan's droid, correct?
Yes.
I believe that's the case. So
Yep.
that is the main reason why everyone thinks it's Darth Revan and not Malak or one of the other characters, because you see in the picture HK-47 there, not in the leader slot, and with a Zeta, which he does not currently have. So that's what prevails the theory that it's Darth Revan, not Malak or anyone else, because Darth Revan would cause HK-47 to get the rework with the Zeta, and that would make the whole thing move together that way. So
yeah, I don't see HK-47 getting a rework for the sake of Darth Malak. It doesn't really make sense.
And something else. So we just had the Grievous rework. HK is another droid, so there could be synergy there as well. He could be another character that really changes the way General Grievous works. We've seen that before, like last year with Emperor Palpatine. People were kind of pissed about the way he worked, and then boom, Scion comes along, and it really changes the game. Could be the same thing with HK. I don't know. We'll see. Something that they're talking about in chat also is another point that so far the only characters with 3 Zetas are journey characters. Mm-hmm. So the fact that there were 3 Zetas there is very telling that maybe a 7-star only unlock for the Gamo Guard. So on this question, the final answer that was over 59% of the responses is Darth Revan confirmed. Panic farm the old Republic. And
on it.
Well, I mean, let's be honest.
Yep.
You're gonna panic farm those old Republic regardless of who it is there. I mean, it's obviously someone from KOTOR. I mean, the characters just went free to play. They're just now farmable. You're obviously gonna use them for whoever's hiding behind that pig mask.
Have you seen that meme where the Scooby-Doo meme? Where they're ripping off the Gamorrean guard mask and then it's Darth Revan's face underneath?
Yeah. No, I have not seen this.
Oh man, it's pretty awesome.
It's good.
That's great.
There's been a developing story hit the news line. We have that sounder? No? Okay. Anyways, developing story in the guild in the Twitch chat. I have made a bet for this podcast. If I am last place in trivia today, I will Gear 12 Gamorrean Guard.
Oh, good. Ooh. I don't have to shotgun the beer. I was worried about that.
Oh no, I don't make bets on your behalf. Although,
right.
I could do that too. If you get last place, shotgun the beer. Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, damn it.
Come on, man. It's midnight. I have to go to sleep at some point.
Also. Yeah, that'll help you.
Yeah,
it'll help you go to sleep. All right.
Make you pass it out, maybe.
Finn, no Finn. He got a rework as well. for health of the game with C-3PO. What do you think? We talked about that last week, so I won't go over the rework again. I'll just go over the answers to the question based on our conversation last week. 35% of people said he will not be leading any high-powered arena teams in the near future anymore, but he is still a good character. I can agree with that. Now I want to roll back the conversation from last week. Last week, every argument I made for Zeta Finn or for the new Finn leadership not being as bad as people make it out to be was with the thought that he removed that turn meter from everyone. I did not realize that it's only the target, which totally changes everything. So because like I said, the way I was thinking last week when I didn't really actually understand how it worked was that if you're taking turn meter from the other team and gaining turn meter yourself, it all evens out. That's why I kept saying last week it evens out. Well, it's only going to even out against the one guy you're targeting now, as opposed to the entire team. Now, does that mean I think it's terrible? I don't know. I still think he's got good defense or good offense chances now, or the odds of him being a really good raid character under RJT in phase 1 or phase 2 if you use her there will still probably be pretty good. As far as the leader goes, I don't know where we see that go as far as PvP, but I don't think it's terrible. It's not what I was arguing for last week. So everyone that was like, what the hell is Punk talking about? That's what happened last week. I thought it was the entire team, not just the targetable character. And Wink, you can attest to this. I figured that out about 5 minutes after we went off the air, and I was like, well.
We talked about that right after.
After 20, 30 minutes of talking about this, now I totally changed my mind. So.
Yep. And that was part of my argument for why I think Poe's going to be so good on that team. I also mentioned something last week that was inaccurate as far as, still using rebels to help gain the turn meter, which the way I phrased it wasn't exactly correct. They can still land exposes, which will help the resistance characters gain turn meter by popping those exposes, but they won't actually do it themselves. So, just a clarification because several people messaged me about that as well. So back to the poll question. There were six responses. 3 were pretty significantly above the rest. 3 of them were below 10% each, but the top overall response at 34% was he will not be leading any high-powered arena teams in the future, but he's still a good character. Let's see. The second biggest response was he is a strictly better character now, not just a walking, talking leadership ability, which that's kind of where I fall. I completely agree. Right now, he's a leader ability, and the rest of him kind of sucks. So that's, like I said, that's where I fell. And then at 23.5%, power neutral, but I think they should refund the Zeta since they made it so much worse.
Wrong.
Yeah, I don't think it's worse.
No.
I do think they should refund the Zeta.
Oh,
though.
no, they should absolutely refund the Zeta. Like, I will not argue that. The fact that his leader, the Zeta, was changed, period, that is grounds for a refund. I mean, their whole excuse was, oh, well, he's better now, so we don't need to refund the Zeta. No, you need to refund that Zeta.
I agree. I completely agree. Still good, but it's just mechanically, it's too different. People have, modded and geared characters specifically because of that ability that, may completely change the way they have to use their roster and everything now. Refund the Zeta. It's not that big of a freaking deal. Refund the Zeta.
Yeah, I mean, we have a precedent for Zeta refunds anyways, with Barris getting hers. And then old Daka, I mean, hers didn't even get changed. It was because of Night Sister Zombie getting its kit reworked. That caused people to refund the Daka. At that point, you don't really have an excuse to not refund the Zeta.
Yes, this is entirely changing what the Zeta is. The previous refunds have not really changed what the Zeta is. It's just more of a clarification issue. This is a complete change. So
Barris itself, it was a bug that they fixed, and they refunded the Zeta.
Yeah.
This is a complete and utter change to the Zeta.
That one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, well, we could rehash like a year ago argument from here, but I don't think it was argued. I think we both agreed. It's like, if you Zeta'd Barris knowing it was a bug, why would you expect a refund, you know? But in this case, people have had this Zeta forever, and the whole Zeta thing changed, so this one makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think it's time that we do whatever talking we want about these droids. So,
woo! Yeah, droids! Yay!
Yeah. So I wanted to go. Right. I wanted to start. Wink, are you looking for? I don't think we have a sounder for this. So
I was about to ask, do we have a soundbite for this?
Yeah, I was looking. You know what?
Play something. Whatever.
Since these are new reworks and some new reworks and a new character, we'll go with this.
Hey boys, do you have any tips for us less experienced players?
So I got a very big tip here.
I'm sure you do.
Very big tip.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Big tips for everyone.
I was
coming
hoping
up.
This was I hope this is a soundbite.
I got a very big tip.
That soundbite is exactly why I came on the show tonight. I just wanted to hear that soundbite.
I'm glad. I'm glad that we could do that for you.
I gotta find a reason to play it every week. So yeah. All right. So who do we want to start with?
All right. So I picked IG-100 because it is the least consequential rework to talk about first, and obviously the least cared about. So I'll go over it real quick, and then we can move to General Grievous. But you know what? I'm going to be honest, all right? So with this whole conversation, I haven't played them. I don't know how the team works. I only know community response. So I don't know. I'll complete honesty here. I haven't even read IG-100's rework. This is the first time I will be seeing it. Now after seeing no one pick it, I'm kind of curious why in the world no one likes it. So here we go.
All right, make sure we get a close up on GMP's face just as he reads this, so everybody can see it.
So you can see
disappointment.
Whoa. What are we doing there?
Yeah. See as like his face slowly transforms into that. What the f am I reading right now?
We're gonna get there real quick. All right, basic electrostaff assault. Final text. Excuse me. Final text. Deal physical damage to target enemy with a 70% chance to inflict target lock for 2 turns. If target was already target locked, Magna Guard dispels all debuffs on itself and another random separatist ally. I mean, that doesn't sound too terrible. Special 1, Disruption. Deal physical damage to all enemies and dispel all debuffs on all separatist allies. Magna Guard and General Grievous gain speed up for 2 turns. He's got a new special called Stunning Strike, which has a Zeta. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them, then stun them for 1 turn. If no buffs were dispelled, reset the cooldown of this ability. I'm sensing a very big theme here with this dude. Unique 1, Relentless Assault. Magna Guard has 70% counter chance, which is up from whatever it was, and gains taunt for 1 turn when it uses an ability during its turn. So it's gonna gain taunt all the time. General Grievous and Magna Guard gain 20% tenacity and 20% defense for each target locked enemy. The first time Magna Guard reaches 1% health, it takes 1 bonus turn and is then defeated. During this bonus turn, Magna Guard has 100% offense.
All right, time to talk about General Grievous.
So I just want to mention something. All it seems like this dude does is taunt and dispel and cleanse. Which,
congratulations, you figured out his kit.
Yes! Oh, man.
So
it was so hard.
In case you're wondering, the Zeta on Stunning Strike, it's that resetting the cooldown of the ability. That's the Zeta.
And how long is it normally without it?
That yeah, if you don't have that Zeta, even if there were no buffs
turns.
dispelled, it doesn't reset the cooldown.
Yeah. So
But what is the cooldown? 2, 3, 4?
3.
And how
What do you
often
do?
do they not have a buff?
Yeah,
At least fighting a Revan team.
yeah.
So that
Well,
was pretty much
one
worthless.
thing about this, though,
If you're using it as a Revan counter.
it doesn't say that this cannot be evaded. So freaking Jedi always have foresight.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're probably gonna attack, do nothing, and then get to attack again and hope they don't have foresight the second time. Yeah, I'll pass.
Yeah, there's not
Yeah,
a lot going on.
there's-
So if you're to pull it, if you were okay, we'll talk about this a little later. I wanted to mention that some ideas for other droids to put in a team with Grievous. It seems to me that this might be the dude you're pulling out. So
I wouldn't say pulling out. I would just say he's never a candidate to go in. His biggest benefit is the dispelling debuffs and giving some speed up to Grievous. But as we'll discuss, it's not like Grievous needs that much speed anyway. So, oh well.
all right, hit us with Grievous.
McMole, you want to take Grievous and I'll take Droideka, or
Yeah, I mean, I can take General Grievous.
all right.
All right, General Grievous. Basic, Furious Assault. Do physical damage to the target enemy, inflict healing. On the other, healthiest droid allied to the end of the turn. That was actually not part of the Zeta. This is the Zeta. Whenever a droid or a separatist ally is defeated, Grievous dispels all debuffs on himself, resets all ability cooldowns, and gains 1 bonus turn. And I think that's it. Yes, that's it.
Good night, punk.
It's
he
like,
go?
what are you trying to say?
Are you reading chat?
What
Am I
happened?
reading chat?
Yeah,
on, chat?
Lost audio.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
well, everyone else will hear
No,
it.
no, I will not reread the kit for Grievous. No, absolutely not.
Good news, everyone. I tried to mute myself, and I muted everyone else.
Oh, Punk, what are you doing?
Oh man. Well,
Hey,
hope.
Punk.
All right.
You know, just for that, he has to reread Grievous's kit, and now he has to reread Droideka's kit as well.
All right. Start us off. Good night, punk. Go.
All right, well, if
Um,
you missed what McMole said, let me read it again.
If you're in the live stream, if you want to, you can just pull it up. Everyone should be able to see it. If you're on the audio podcast, you will have heard it.
I'll link it in chat so everyone can bring it up. There you go.
Okay. Oh, you
My
don't have it up
apologies.
on the live stream?
No, I don't.
Oh.
I do not have it up on the live stream. Now, I can try to bring it up on the live stream. But
Why
I
don't you
I
try
wouldn't
to
get
bring
the
it
whole
up on
thing
the
there
live
anyway.
stream, and we'll talk about it. I assume a lot of people have already read it, that are in the live stream. Hopefully so. So there is a lot going on here. I mean, they redid everything. Completely changed his unique ability, new leader ability, a new special ability, a redone special. Like, there's so much going on here. The biggest takeaways from this kit for me are the fact that he does damage based on his max health. So offense is basically worthless. Your square mod that you put on him basically does nothing. The only thing you should care about are secondary stats on the square mod for General Grievous, because the primary stat doesn't do a damn thing. That's probably the biggest takeaway from the change as far as I'm concerned. What about you, McMole? What was your biggest takeaway?
Yeah, this guy has a very abnormal mod set that you have to go for on him. I think that was my favorite part of Grievous, is that this is not your typical crit damage, crit chance. We actually had people trying crit chance, crit damage sets on him, and they went to full health, and they're like, dude, the difference is night and day. I mean, it's yeah. If you don't go for those health sets on him, you're literally just screwing yourself with that.
Yeah, that is true. So, I mean, kind of like based off what you're saying, I mean, I've done some videos on this, just on the relationship between crit chance, crit damage, and stuff. And the crit chance required is actually quite, low to incentivize going very heavily on, crit damage and stuff. But there is that middle ground for the most part for many characters, between, about 20% crit chance up to about 50 to 60% crit chance, kind of depending on the exact stats. So it's very rough. But inside that spot, you kind of want to go with offense set with a crit damage primary. And, of course, on Joe Grievous, you don't want to go with an offense set.
Yeah.
Instead, you want to go with the health set. And the health set is even more beneficial because it is giving, a 10% bonus 3 times. And you still go with the crit damage triangle to maximize the crit damage when you do crit. And he has a decent crit chance, and his leader ability removes crit avoidance, which is very important, especially when attacking like a Joe Lee or any Revan team, or somebody that mods their Joe Kenobi like I do. You mitigate that, and that is a huge factor, because that's part of the reason why you want to go with offense on Grandmaster Yoda, is because you want to up that that lower end threshold of damage per attack, and he helps mitigate that. So his kit has some really good stuff that helps counter what Revan teams do really well, which does give him some potential against them.
Yeah, I remember the first time I landed a critical hit on Jolie with this team, I was like, oh, Jolie can take critical damage. I forgot about that. I mean, he has so much crit avoidance. It's crazy. It's like, what, double his tenacity or something?
Yes, and not only that, Revan gives some crit avoidance with his leader ability as well. So I think he gives.
Does he?
Would give.
I thought it was offense, crit chance, and speed.
Well, I said his leader ability. That's not true. It's his hero ability.
That's
which,
what it is. Okay.
Whenever he's lead, it kind of works for everybody else as well. But yeah. So stuff I love about this, and something else is he has an AOE that does target lock and removes turn meter. And the turn meter removal is really great paired with B2, who has that AoE dispel to get rid of tenacity up and then remove turn meter. I really love that aspect. That is a really cool ability. I love AoEs that remove turn meter. They're just amazing.
Oh yeah. The other thing I really like is I completely just flew out of my mind. Give me a sec. I was gonna make a really good point. Oh yeah. So the more you're hilarious.
I'm back. I
yeah.
just
So
came
the
back
more
to laugh.
Yeah. Also, keeping in mind the more health that you stack on Grievous with mods and everything, his damage is gonna exponentially increase too, because the mods increases max health, and he gains that 5% max health per droid ally, and so the higher you have his max health with mods at the start of the battle, that just means he's gonna hit harder a lot quicker in the match.
And that's something else to take into account. Because of that fact, you want to go with a health primary on the arrow.
Yeah.
He gains plenty of speed. He does need Zetas to gain speed. He gains speed from the Zeta abilities directly through B2 and his leader, and also his unique, actually. That's 3 Zeta abilities in this team that give turn meter to him. But because of that, you can go with the health primary, which makes him tankier and adds damage. It's really beneficial. Whenever I have sliced more health primary mods than anything else because I think they're that good now at 6E, and I love putting them on characters that can kind of double dip from that health. So, characters that use protection up and, get bonuses from having extra health, like Jolie, who recovers health. General Grievous falls right into that category because of his damage being based on his health and having the stacking health. Even if his damage was still based on offense, I would still probably mod him with health because of that stacking health. So that aspect of this rework is something I completely and totally love. And it's something you obviously have to think about whenever you're modding him.
Yeah.
Did you call it stacking hell?
I might have. I don't know.
That's stacking hell.
My internet sucks, so it could be cutting off my
views. It's just what I wanted to hear. All right.
I'm glad to see some things haven't changed since the last time I was on here, like Wink's internet.
It's so bad, isn't it?
If we had waited a couple months, maybe.
I will have good internet here in a couple months, though. I'm quite excited about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I want to see more characters like who need mods that are different, like General Grievous.
100%.
We'll get to Droid here in a moment, but it's like using these mods that you don't really use a lot, because you use health for like Jolie and like maybe some tanks here and there, but the fact that we're not going for the typical just throw speed and crit damage and crit chance and offense on them, like expanding our required mods for different characters to help like maximize their potential. I want to see more of that in the game.
It's funny, and it's good. It's not good for us for the overall part of the game, where most of these events could use a rework where we're not always getting health mods. But as far as General Grievous goes, just to make him usable for lower, if you are a newer player that might have General Grievous and these droids unlocked and want to build a Gear 18 just to have something to use, you should have plenty of health mods to choose from, at least as far as a bonus set goes. I don't know about primaries and secondaries, but you should get a lot to choose from for this character in the game, just giving it to you organically, and that's something that's cool about this character as well, for not so much in-game players, but newer players, where you're looking at a character and saying, what should I mod this character as? And you find out that it's health, and hey, guess what? If you have any success as a newer player in the events, you're going to have health mods for a character like this.
Point.
So
I kind of wonder how long they've been planning this kit for Grievous, because I mean, you take him up to gear 12 and you've got two of those med packs on him that just give him health, and you're like, well, that's kind of weird. And then you go to gear 12 and it's two of the furnaces that just give health. So you kind of wonder how long they've been planning this, if this was always their intention.
That's a good question.
So the question is, what's the number on Grievous health as far as gear 12 plus goes? Because I think I saw something when you get to gear 12 post, it's like 25k plus, right?
Are you talking without mods on him?
Yeah, without mods. Just the actual health given by the gear you put on him in those.
7-star, full gear 12, 45,627 health.
Yeah, so if you're rolling him any lower than gear 12, you're really missing out on the full potential of the character as far as the damage from his max health goes.
Yeah, because I mean, just those gear 12 pieces is 25,500, I think, and I mean that's 25,500 health. I mean that's over half of his health that he gains from pieces in gear 12. It's crazy. So
yeah, it's about 27,000, I think, with those gear 12 plus pieces. It's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You double his health at gear 12.
Which also doubles the damage, but ups that damage for sure. So
yeah.
It's just really one of those kits where you...
No, it does double his damage. And I mean,
I'm bad at maths. I didn't want to say something wrong, but
yeah,
yes,
it does. I mean, the only thing is, you know, your percentage health do not work off the stats you gain in that gear level. So that 27,500 health that he gains in gear 12 will not be multiplied by his health primaries. However, once gear 13 opens up, if and when, you know, he's one of those characters that will get a significant boost by going to gear 13, because all that health will then be factored into those health primaries. So he's one of those characters that when gear 13 opens up could see a significant boost based on that fact alone.
Yep.
So,
for sure.
I guess we'll go ahead and jump to Droideka. I have a quiz question for people in live chat. We'll see if they can get it. There is a stat. It's a primary stat on a specific shaped mod that I would almost recommend to no characters in this game except for Droideka. I will see. I'm curious to see if anyone can guess what mod slot, what mod primary I am talking about. And I'll go ahead and start reading the kit. So Droideka is a Darkside Droid Separatist attacker. The tagline for him is destructive droid attacker that punishes fast enemies from behind its deflector shield. All right. Basic. Twin blaster cannons. Deal physical damage to target enemy. Additionally, if the target has higher speed than Droideka, deal true damage, ignores defense but can't critically hit, which scales based on the difference in their speed. Special 1. Destructive armament. Cooldown 3. Final text. Deal physical damage to target enemy and true damage, ignores defense but can't critically hit, and additional time for each stack of charge, then inflict target lock for 2 turns. This attack cannot be evaded. Special 2, Reconstructive Revolution, cooldown 3, final text. Dispel all debuffs on Droideka and gain damage immunity, which can't be copied, and tenacity up for 2 turns, then recover 10% protection for each stack charge. Unique 1, his only unique actually. Deflector Shield Generator. Final text. This is the one with the Zeta. Droideka gains 10% turn meter and a stack of charge for 1 turn whenever an enemy takes a turn. Additionally, Droideka recovers 10% protection whenever it damages a target locked enemy. Droideka has plus 50% speed and plus 25% evasion unless it has damage immunity. If Droideka has damage immunity, it has minus 50% speed and a 35% chance to assist, dealing 50% less damage whenever another limit once per turn. Charge is plus 5% offense per stack. All right, so I think the only person to guess it is Kentuch 420. Yeah, it's the offense triangle. I would never recommend that on any other character, because basically everyone in this game can crit. This character has two abilities that cannot possibly crit, and his basic ability he uses quite often because of how often he is going to have damage immunity and the fact that he calls in for assist. Offense triangle, offense set is definitely what you want to go with on Droideka because of that fact. And Joker, I disagree. You do not want an offense triangle on good Grandmaster Yoda. You want crit damage.
Yeah, especially in a Revan team.
Especially on a Revan team.
You just got totally off the rails.
Me?
Where?
Yeah, you saw Grandmaster Yoda modding, and I know you wanted to go into that.
Yeah, let's talk about Revan
no.
some more.
Please, God.
Yeah,
no.
let's do it.
So the part that I'd mentioned earlier with this kit was the let's see, where does it say something? It's the part about speed. That was his unique, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out where it says it.
Which part? The plus 50% speed or the minus 50% speed?
No, the part where the difference between his speed and someone else's.
So that's the true damage. It scales based on the difference of the speed between Droideka and the target.
There it is. Yeah, it's on the basic.
Yes.
So this is what I was talking about, where we're talking with, putting speed on Droideka or trying to get, or worrying about someone with God mods you're fighting with this character. This dude gets the true damage that scales depending on where the speed of the person you're fighting or attacking is based on what Droideka's speed is. So you're going to get more out of his basic if there's a bigger speed difference. Now, does that mean you're not going to want to mod this guy for speed? I don't know. All I know is that where you're fighting with a mod deficiency is actually going to benefit you, which is the kind of interactions we were talking about earlier, where modding characters differently doesn't necessarily hurt you, but can benefit you in other ways that we haven't seen in this game in the past. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing about his kit that I thought was really awesome. Besides just what true damage is, because we've never heard of or known what true damage was, right? Well, I mean, I guess we do, because if you don't crit, you're hitting true damage anyway. But this is damage that scales for him based on your speed. I never really... Okay, so let me just go back. True damage is obviously what you get when you don't crit. What... Have we ever... we've never seen anything that... Has it ever been called true damage? That's what I'm trying to say.
No, this is a new mechanic.
It's a new term, but I mean, it's basically acts just like when you don't crit, right? Because this is...
It ignores defense, though.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the difference then. So true damage is a new thing.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was thinking of damage where you don't crit as true damage, but if it ignores defense, then it's totally different. So true damage is a new term / mechanic.
And there are, of course, characters that do ignore defense. That's not necessarily that uncommon. There are a decent number of characters that do that. However, the inability to crit on those type of abilities, that is new to Droideka.
I mean, it's interesting the way that you... So obviously I haven't played the droids, but one of the biggest things that I thought of when I saw his kit was damage immunity, being hit by direct focus, right? Where all those hits miss. Is that even something that happens in your guys' experience? The first direct focus probably would not happen that way, because more than likely Revan's going to go first. But getting direct focus to hit Droideka, is that something that you can do? Is there a way to make sure that the other team focuses your Droideka?
He always focuses my Droideka whenever I've tried it, because it has basically no freaking health because it's like gear 7 or something.
Yeah, I think there's a mechanic in terms of how he prioritizes targets, but at the end of the day, I have not really seen a pattern. I mean, I notice it when my Droideka gets hit, because the Droideka is like still super squishy and gets wiped out just from the direct focus assists. But so I mean, I automatically notice that. But I mean, he's really kind of spread it around on my team. I've never had one droid who was getting singled out over and over again by Revan.
Gotcha.
So, everything about the kit. I'll play this.
If I was a Swugga character, how would you mod me?
What?
Let's talk about modding.
What? Dude, what is with these sultry voices? Like, this is, I feel awkward right now.
Oh, you haven't heard our one for Road Ahead, have you? Yeah.
No.
That's a whole...
I don't think I want to.
Oh, it's great.
We'll
It's
play it for
fantastic.
you after the show. All right, so as far as modding this team, I mean, there are a lot of different options, and part of the problem with Revan's, like you're talking about, Droideka, his first ability, he's going to do the damage immunity because it makes him so much better, but the problem is it's a buff. So if you mark Droideka, he can't gain that buff, and he becomes much less of a problem almost immediately. So what do you guys think as far as modding Droideka? Like, do you want to mod him for speed so that he gets out early and can get the damage immunity and give up all the offense that he does whenever he's attacking, whenever he has damage immunity? Or do you kind of wait and play for the next turn once marked and the buff immunity gets off of him? What do you think, McMole? Because I know you've played with them, you know, at more decent gear levels than either of us have.
Repeat that question one more time, just so I make sure I have it right.
All right. So what do you think as far as modding Droideka in regards to speed? Is making sure that he can go before Revan, is that very important? Or I should say trying to make him go before Revan, because with the plus 50% speed, I mean, you can add a crap ton of speed to him and he can become fairly quick. I mean, plus 50% speed's pretty significant amount. Especially, you know, I mean, if you get him to say 200 speed, you know, which isn't, what is his base speed? 100 and something?
His base speed
120 maybe. I have no idea.
I think so. No, okay, so your question, my answer, his base speed is 103. I keep him slow. I do not put bonus speed on him, because if you start making him like really fast, you really start to cut down on that amount of true damage he can do, and that is the mainstay of his damage, is the true damage that he does with his abilities. I mean, especially the destructive armament. If you have him slow enough, and like you put that damage, you have the damage immunity on him, that true damage is just gonna wreck whoever you target with it.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see the appeal in having Droideka go before Revan and do that pop-out damage immunity, but then the question becomes, what if Revan doesn't target him with direct focus? What if he targets someone else? And not to mention, the damage immunity can be dispelled, as I have figured out to my everlasting horror the first time Bastila dispelled it.
It's not a locking buff.
Yeah,
So
this is not Django's. This is the problem I had for myself personally. Was I assumed it was like Django's, where once he had it, it was locked on him for like those 2 turns. No, this one can get dispelled. So yeah, all you take is 1 dispel from Basla. That damage immunity is gone, and Droidica is not a very. I mean, he's got 35,000 health, 41,000 protection, but you're not modding him for bonus health and protection. You're modding him to be a damage dealer. So, yeah.
So this is Droideca is part of my argument against why I think B1 is one of the least useful Zetas in this team, because Droideca's Zeta ability is add 25% evasion, and if Droideca has damage immunity, it has the 35% chance to assist, dealing 50% less damage whenever another Separatist ally uses an ability limit once per turn. So basically, 1 out of every 3 times that a Separatist goes, he's going to come in and assist. And one thing I noticed that I didn't think about before, it says whenever they use an ability, it does not say during their turn.
It says limit once per turn,
which is any turn. So does this mean if you use Count Dooku and Count Dooku is countering, you can have Droideca assisting his counters? Because that sounds really fun.
Hold on. There's another character we can check on this to make sure.
Because that sounds just badass in my opinion. I mean, sign me up.
So Separatist.
Yep.
I'm looking at First Order Stormtrooper right now because his Zeta says that whenever he uses an ability, he has 50% chance to call a random ally to assist. And if I go compare that to Droidica, see, this is interesting. I honestly don't know. I don't have the Zeta on Droidica. I'm probably not going to get the Zeta because I've already got 4 Zetas on that team. I don't want to throw any more on there because I got to save it for Dark Kevin. Sorry, bear with me for a second. Okay, so whenever Separatist ally uses an ability limit once per turn, I'm going to assume that when someone, like if Grievous moves and B1 assists, both those have a chance to call the assist, but only one of them can call an assist. So like if Grievous calls that assist, B1's assist cannot call an assist from the Droidica. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, well, so yeah, I mean, based on general wording, I would think he would be able to, do that, assist a counter, that's my assumption. And if so, I kind of think that could make Dooku kind of interesting. Obviously not in all applications. I mean, depending on where you're at, elite Revan teams, you're going to have hell. But, newer players, people that aren't necessarily facing Revan teams that are maxed with Gear 12 plus pieces and stuff like that, I certainly think that there is a lot of room to kind of play around, or maybe even Grand Arena to kind of, mess around with some strategies like that, like using Count Dooku with Droideca if you have that Zeta ability, because I think that could be pretty interesting. Like you said, he counters twice, so I think that should be 2 opportunities for him to call in.
No, because the bonus attack is part of the ability. So he's going to counter. That bonus attack is not a separate ability. It's the same ability. So like Leia, she can attack up to 3 times. She's not using that basic ability 3 separate times. She's using the basic ability once with a chance to hit for 3 times.
Yes, that makes
sense. So Dooku hitting twice is only him using the ability once.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, yeah. It says chance to attack. Yeah, I guess that would be part of the base
Yeah.
ability. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Fun fact: I'm looking at the gear on Droidica right now. 650 gold pieces to get to max out Droidica.
Holy smokes!
Five raid gear pieces and 1,600 purple pieces.
But only 5 stun guns. That's
only 5 stun guns. Yeah.
Now we know why he's cheaper.
Yeah. 6 Carbantes, 5 stun guns. Yeah. No. I don't want to look at it. It makes me sad. It makes me a sad bull. I don't even want to look at it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like I said, I think Droideca is awesome. I kind of think he is probably key to this team. And I think that Zeta ability is going to be really important just because, I mean, damage immunity is great, but then having him always coming in and attacking. And so another option is you can actually set up a turn order team if you want to use like a BB-8. That's kind of what I've experienced. It's gone terribly against, top tier Revan teams. Surprise. But I do think there's some potential there maybe with BB-8 also because of the turn meter gain that everyone gains from the beginning. As far as setting something up to where you give Droideca crit immunity, you dispel with B2, and you remove turn meter with General Grievous. That's something you could actually kind of set up before a Revan team even turns, takes a single turn. Now, what happens after that?
Yeah, because those light side droids suffer under that General Grievous team. that unique for Grievous just tears apart light side droids.
Yes, they do take significantly more damage. I mean, they take double the amount of damage that other droids take. So how long they'll last, is questionable. But if you have the Zeta on General Grievous, his unique ability, he does gain the bonus turn whenever someone goes down. So if BB-8 does get taken out quickly, General Grievous gains turn meter. He gains more stacking health and, works towards stacking his health earlier, which could be beneficial, if you're having issue getting the team set up in the beginning, BB-8 sacrificial lamb, and you kind of get to a good starting point if you have the other stuff around it. Just as far as spitballing ideas that could be fun.
Did you ever try C-3PO in your testing?
I have not tried C-3PO. Have you?
Okay. No, it's a droid I want to try at some point. Because I mean, basically, you just get 3 stacks of translation on B1, and then every time B1 assists, which is pretty much all the time, he's going to start reducing the cooldown on C-3PO, and C-3PO can just call limitless mass assists because the cooldowns keep getting reduced.
Well, okay, so now we're going into some of the questions I had for you guys. For you two that have played this group since the rework. First things I want to ask is what your thoughts are overall on the team. Now, does that mean my question kind of covers, do you think it's what you were expecting, and do you think it is going to get close to those expectations, or where you think that it fits in the game overall? What do you guys think?
I don't think it's as good as it's going to be. People haven't figured out how to mod it yet. The whole damn team is completely different than anything else that we've seen in the game as far as modding. So we haven't got it right yet.
Okay, but here's my question to what you're saying. Okay, they said something about, they put out a post saying you need to mod General Grievous for health. Well, duh. Okay, we all figured that out the minute we read his basic that said his offense stacks on his max health. So we're all gonna stack that max health.
I still don't think people got it. I don't think people really understood what that means.
Yeah, maybe 50%.
Honestly.
I think there's enough smart people in this game that have figured out what that meant before they even said
probably
it.
a lot of people that watch a lot of videos and listen to podcasts probably, but I think the mass amount of people that read that are like, okay, so I should use, health sets or whatever. No, whenever health's that important. 6-dot health primaries, health set bonuses, health arrow, all that stuff really, really, really starts to make a difference, just like it does with Jolie. And I think I do. I've seen a lot of conversation where people still have an issue grasping that.
I mean, I still see people to this day with like 200 speed Revens. I mean, I don't even know what those people are doing.
Or 5,000 special damage Grandmaster Yodas with 240 speed.
I'm more pissed that I can watch a team with a 200 speed Revan defeat my Revan team, which goes to show how stupidly overpowered Revan is. But yeah, I mean, when you see when you see someone with like 200 speed Revan, you're like, how? Like, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
Do you even mod, bro? Like, come on.
Do you even mod, bro? That's gotta be a shirt.
Dude, that's a beautiful one. That's a good one. We got all kinds of shirt ideas there. I got you, bro.
Oh my god.
I got you.
Oh.
Hashtag
Genius.
do you even mod, bro? But
oh my god, mind blown.
I will say this about the team, and I've not played it, but this is just as far as I've seen the community sentiment and everything else. I don't think that we all are fully grasping exactly how to use it yet. But that said,
we totally are.
But I mean, I also on top of that, I don't think that even if we did at this point, we have the proof on our own testing to say that it's going to meet the expectations that we all put on it. So I think
that's true.
So I think that here's the thing, right? I think this team was built and expected to be a PvP team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with that being said, I think they are a good PvP team. But if you're thinking about it in that light, I'm not talking about Squad Arena specifically. I'm talking about PvP in general, Territory Wars, Grand Arenas, in that case. Because in Grand Arena or Territory Wars, you don't have to set them on defense after you win an offensive battle. And I think that there are going to be plenty of teams, once we figure this team out a little more, that this team you can put in there to be one of your counters that works out really well. It might not work out really well against others. It might be RNG against some. It might be the perfect counter to certain teams. But I think as far as PvP team, it's probably going to end up hitting the mark as far as overall PvP goes. Squad Arena, I don't see it hitting anything except maybe an offense team. I don't see this team doing defense like at all. Everything I've seen so far is I beat this team in under a minute. So I think it's, as a team wise, I think it's good. PvP wise, I think it'll be a good one for Grand Arena Territory Wars. I don't know if it's a Squad Arena team at all. And as far as overall playability and fun, I think it's a good, as far as what I've seen, obviously I've not played it. It looks fun. I mean, if you can tell me it's not fun to play, you can tell me that. But that's my feeling as a guy looking from sentiment.
All right. So you don't think Grievous is going to be a good defensive team?
Not from what I've heard.
Okay. Would you like to make a bet on that?
Yeah. What's the bet? I already made a bet
I don't
tonight.
know.
I guess I'm a little buzzed. I'm ready to make all bets that are people put in front of me. So
There we go.
Okay. I don't know. If I win, you have to Zeta Pow. If you don't have a Zeta Pow already.
I don't, and mine's Gear 10, so I wouldn't feel terrible about that.
Maybe I have to rethink these terms.
I mean, he's Gear 8.
All right.
He's terrible.
Let me think about this and let me get back to you.
All right, we'll get back to
Okay. All right. So what are you thinking specifically? Like, as far as you think he's going to be good on defense, like with the characters that are in game now, or do you think it's going to take something else to come along?
Me?
Yes.
I think what we have now in the game
is enough.
Is more than enough. Now, when let's be honest here, Treya, Revan, CLS, those are gimme wins against any like defensive Grievous team. I mean, we've already seen that they struggle. Grievous struggles against those teams on offense. Common sense is there he's gonna get wiped out on defense with those teams. Beyond that, I mean, I don't know, because how many you have to find ways to shut down this team with these other teams, but I don't think with what we have, like what I've seen in my playtesting is once I get at least 3 target locks on the enemy team, I pretty much have the match in the bag, because at that point with the Zeta under the Grievous lead, Grievous is moving stupidly fast because of that Zeta leadership. And like if I just spam the AoE from B1, if there's 5 target locks on the enemy team and I use the special from B1, that is 20% turn meter on Grievous right there. And anytime that B2 uses AoE against target locked enemies, that's 4% more per target locked enemy that's hit. And then you can use Grievous's AoE as well. Not to mention B2 is giving turn meter based on the debuffs he lands when he goes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So
I mean, there can be a crap ton of turn meter that's given to.
Yeah, that is I think that's the deadly secret that people haven't really quite realized is that once you get those debuffs, once you get that target lock on the enemy team, and the Grievous team just starts going, especially with that Zeta, with the Zeta on Grievous lead and the Zeta on B2, that team moves at absurd speeds. I mean, there's times where I'm outspeeding Revan teams.
What are your thoughts on Imperial Probe Droid and his Zeta ability? For those that are unaware, while Imperial Probe Droid is active, target-locked enemies can't gain buffs. So that means tenacity up, foresight.
Yeah, the one problem is when you're fighting those Revan teams, there's, 2-3 different cleanses on that team. That's the problem, is that you can very easily cleanse target lock. It's a trick of keeping the target lock going on the enemy as they cleanse things off. And I mean, you're gonna have Yoda buff your team up between like the times you can get target lock on them. It's a give and take situation, and this is why I don't think that General Grievous is ever going to be a hard counter to Revan, because you do not, there's never a point where you're just absolutely dominating the Revan team. The Revan team can very easily come back and play like the abilities at the right time and then just completely screw over your General Grievous team. I don't know if you understand what I'm going for here, but it's just, yeah, you can't, I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought here.
I'll be honest. I'm with what you're saying. I think the team is a lot better than the community is thinking it is right now. I don't think it's a Revan crusher.
No, it's not a Revan crusher. And I mean,
it can win on offense.
Yeah. Go ahead, keep going.
Something else that could be interesting is IG-88 with his Zeta, the target locked enemies not being able to recover health and protection. That could be useful. The problem is he dies pretty easily.
Isn't that known as leader?
Kind of needed. No, that is his unique ability.
Okay.
Hang on, pulling up IG-88. The benefit of having Galaxy Heroes to play on your phone, I think it is his lead. Yeah, it is his unique. Yeah. But see, the thing is, though, all you take is one saber throw from Revan, cleanses the target lock, and then just heals up all the Jedi.
So we're going through these droids. True. What about T3?
So T3 I like because of the defense penetration. The big problem is T3 is a light side droid.
No, very true.
Defense penetration I don't think particularly matters with General Grievous, because you have Droid Eka that ignores defense, General Grievous who does the minus 50% defense and has the defense, avoiding abilities. So yeah, I don't know about.
Well, I mean, it's not so much. Yeah, there's more to it beyond the defense penetration. I'm looking at him right now. He can heal up droid allies for 50% health and protection, give them crit immunity and offense up for 2 turns. He can also dispel defensive debuffs from the opposing team. And then he can throw out a whole slew of debuffs, and target locked enemies can't resist that. But the problem at the end of the day still goes back to he's a light side droid, and Grievous is just going to wreck him. That's the problem with refining light side droids, is that light side droids have a very, very rough time staying alive on a Grievous team.
I was thinking that he might not have a hard time if his first special healed himself and the target, but it only heals the target. So not gaining 50% health and protection on himself as well as the target, he'll probably die real quick. But if it was both of them, then I could see that being a viable option, because he can heal pretty quickly there. But since it's not on him, it's really kind of moot point.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to ask, what do you think is the most important Zeta ability for a General Grievous-led team? I know what I think, but I am very curious to see what you think.
I'm going to say the B1 Zeta.
Oh, wait, the B1 Zeta. Oh,
yeah, the B1 Zeta.
I think the B2 Zeta is probably
I mean, that's the thing, though. There's not, like, this, when I did my modding and Zeta guide video for the General Grievous team, I said there's 3 Zetas you have to have with this team. The leadership for Grievous, the B1 Zeta, and the B2 Zeta. You gotta have them. The leadership Zeta, the stupid amount of turn meter boost that you get with that leadership Zeta, I mean, it really puts your team over the top, especially once you get those target locks going.
Yes, that's a good point. And something else to think about if you're trying to build this team, depending, what Zetas you may want to do may also depend on what characters you have, because of primarily General Grievous's unique Zeta. And his unique Zeta is whenever a droid or separatist ally is defeated, Grievous dispels all debuffs from himself, resets all ability cooldowns, and gains a bonus turn. So as soon as the droid or separatist ally dies with that Zeta, he gains turn meter, he gains stacking health, he becomes that much more dangerous whenever they die. And so you could actually have in kind of a sacrificial character, whether it's B1 or a BB-8 or maybe some other character that you have that's decent, that you could actually kind of sacrifice, and it may not hurt your team too much if you have that Zeta ability.
Yeah, I mean, I have
maybe
that
not
Zeta.
Optimal, but it's an option.
Yeah, I have that Zeta on Grievous, and yeah, it's a great way to help and try to push things back in your favor. I mean, the problem is the first droid that usually goes when you're on your Grievous team is usually B1. And once you lose B1, you lose a lot of healing that your team gets, and that's one of the things that helps keep them competitive with Revan, is just the sheer amount of healing that the B1 droid does. It really helps sustain your team against Revan, and that's why I say you have to have that Zeta, because all it takes is just like one mark on B1 and B1's gone. And I found it in my testing, other people who are like crushing through Revan teams are finding, if B1 gets marked, it is a 50% chance out the gate that you're going to win or lose that match. If it's someone else who gets marked, your chances get much higher that you're going to win. But if B1 gets marked and you lose B1 very early in the match, you're probably best just go ahead and retreating.
I think one thing to mention that might not be what everyone wants to hear about with these characters, they're all separatists, right?
Yes.
Now we've all been waiting for this General Grievous rework. Please make him better. Make him the leader for droids we've always wanted, blah, 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 blah. If it's not him as the leader, if droids are to be in the meta later with a different leader, that's fine, but something to think about, and it's almost absurd for me to mention this 2 days after a rework, but all of them are separatists. If someone like Dooku or someone else were to get reworked, as far as a separatist leader were to go, all these characters would be viable as options for those teams as well. And they're all
Yes.
got reworked and are good. So even if General Grievous isn't the savior that everyone wants, there is still hope that with a Separatist rework, which did not happen, this was just Separatist droids, that these guys could make that team function very well, considering that all your other Separatist options are bad. And if they rework the other Separatists, along with having these ones who have already been reworked and put into the game, you're going to have a lot more options. So obviously it's not what people want to hear, because you want to use this team right now with a General Grievous lead. But there is hope, at least in the future, as far as Separatists go. Because if they rework the Separatists that did not get reworked this time, now you suddenly have way more options for a team. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No,
That's just a future-looking
point.
idea. But, they've been talking about Separatists for so long, and Separatists have had nothing. Like, as far as Separatist tag goes, there's nothing to bind them together at all. Not even in General Grievous, as far as Separatist droids go. Nothing specifically mentions Separatists. So if there's a Separatist thing to come in the future, these guys are all set up for that. And even General Grievous, because you don't have to have his leader for that stacking health to make him into a ridiculous damage dealer. So he could even be on a team as not the leader. So just an idea, not looking right now in the rework we just got, but moving forward. And that might be a year from now. That might be 6 months from now. Who knows? But it is something to think about.
So what you're saying is when we get the new Gunray rework.
Yeah, that new Gunray work is really going to make this all
exciting.
come together, and everyone's just going to figure it out why this happened right now.
So I have 1 point about something in chat, and then I have a question for McMole. So Tesh actually mentions about L3.
L3,
because of her health recovery during taunt and that sort of stuff. That makes her maybe be able to keep up, which is really interesting. However, there is another part of L3's kit that I think is far, far more interesting for the General Grievous team, and that is
For
her
the
unique
droids?
ability with the Zeta.
Yeah.
Her Zeta ability, the first time each other droid ally is reduced to 1% health, they equalize health with L3. And so that basically means she can prevent every other droid on the team from dying one time. So
No. All right. Oh no, it is for each other droid ally. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was just
first
once.
time General Grievous tries to die, she saves him. First time B2 tries to die, she saves them. And that could be something that kind of helps keep the team going a little bit longer and allowing Grievous to stack up even a little bit more health. Plus, he has the, health steal from one of his abilities that could be helpful. But my question for McMole is in regards to Jawa Engineer. Do you think there's any potential there?
Java Engineer. Oh God, I have not tried that. I don't even want to think about it. Here's the question: what are you gonna do with Java Engineer? Oh, well, I mean, you have the speed up at the start. Hang on, before I say anything else, let me.
So
No, I don't.
I will make my case for why Jawa Engineer could be okay. So Jawa Engineer gains, what is it, 10 speed for each droid or Jawa ally. So in this team, theoretically, would gain additional 50 speed. Already a fast character, not difficult to make him ridiculously fast. So he's a character that would have potential at going ahead of a Revan. Probably not, but it could happen. And if you are able to do that and give everyone 100% turn meter to where the whole team is going first, there's potential there. Plus revives. The only problem is you would have to keep Jawa Engineer from getting wiped out. Mine's like gear 7 or 8, so, not really able to test all that well. But if you have like a, Gear 11, Gear 12 Jawa Engineer, I think there could actually be a little bit of potential there, maybe.
Yeah, no, there's potential there. I mean, I'm thinking about it. What I would like to try is Jawa Engineer with Grievous B2, B1 under an HK-47 lead. You mentioned that briefly earlier. That's one I want to try at some point. Is the HK-47 lead? Get rid of the General Grievous lead, and probably.
Yep.
You may not need.
I tested it the other night. And my droids are just not great, so it's kind of hard to tell by too much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I was using HK and BB-8 with Grievous B2, and I don't remember what the other droid was. Like I said, my droid Eka and B2, they're Gear 7 or 8, so I'm literally just messing around to see what happens. But I made it much further through a Revan team with that comp than I did anything with a General Grievous lead. Again, this is no Zetas whatsoever. I don't have any Zetas on them, but I felt like it actually kind of worked okay. It was fun.
The no Zetas. Why?
I don't know if you've heard, but Wink is low on Zetas.
What do you mean?
No, okay.
After Zeta and Han.
That's the reason.
Oh my god.
After Zeta and Han Solo's unique and Rose Tico, Wink is low on Zetas right now. All right.
Oh, wait. Rewind. Rose?
Wink lost a bet, so he had to Zeta Rose Tico
and
Stormtrooper Han's unique.
Stormtrooper Han you can make an argument for, but Rose, you guys are monsters. Why would you make him do that?
Oh,
we're talking to you, Tesh.
Wait till that new Finn lead comes out. Yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be awesome.
Delete your words, Finn.
Right.
Yeah. Being optimistic here.
Yeah, you're being real optimistic there. Okay, so back to the no Zeta thing. I was talking to someone the other day, and he was like, my Grievous team is trash. I can't beat Revan, yada, yada. I'm like, all right, well, what Zetas do you have? I have no Zetas on the team. It's like, why? Why even bother if you don't have Zetas on the team? Don't, like, that pisses me off more than anything.
I agree.
Is we have people who are like, oh, this team's trash because I can't beat Revan, but I have no Zetas on the team. You cannot fight a Jedi Revan team that has all the Zetas on it with no Zetas on your Grievous team and expect you to win. Like, you're not going to win. And it annoys me so much.
Yep, I'm with you. Even though I was doing it, I wasn't expecting great results. I was literally just testing to just see what happened. If you are actually expecting that a General Grievous can beat a Revan team when you have no Zetas and the bloody Revan team has like 7 of them,
oh man,
you're out of your mind.
I want to cuss, but I don't. But I can't cuss because there's children watching. But it's just like it's so dumb. You can't go in with unrealistic expectations. I mean, we already went in with unrealistic expectations, thinking that this was gonna be the new meta.
That's true.
But the fact that you think you can beat a Revan team with no Zetas on the team, you're insane.
All right, well, let me just bring us to...
That's a great way of putting it.
Let me just bring us to the conclusion of this section, all right? So, let me talk about, real quick, Carrie, the live producer of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, took to Reddit today with a crap ton of responses to a thread that was posted by Not a Goon, who is a member of a alliance that had mentioned something about, oh, we were lied to, they were very unhappy with this General Grievous rework, and they posted it. And Carrie said she tried to find a Reddit post to try responding to, but this was the only one that she could really figure that this would be the best place to put her thoughts. But I had a lot of little notes written here, but I'm going to just, too long, didn't read it for you guys. As far as Carrie goes, she understands the critiques that everyone's putting on it. She knows people are upset. She doesn't know how to fix the the thoughts people have in their head, but what she wants to say is that, and I think all three of us have at some point mentioned this today. She says a lot of teams come out and people think they're terrible within the first couple days. And then you really start working into them within the first couple to 2 to 3 weeks, and you figure out where their niche is and what they were meant to do and what they can do. And she just wants us to give the time to try to figure that out. And if it's not meeting our expectations, they said that they will try to look into that and tweak the team. Whether I believe that or not, I am not going to say. But they are looking into that. If it does not meet expectations of what people want in the next 2 to 3 weeks, they're looking into that. But on top of that, she wanted to mention that the expectations might have been too high for this compared to where they're good and what they do. So my last question for you two, what are your final thoughts on this team and where it fits into everything in the game?
I think that the Grievous droids are one of the better teams in the game right now. Like I said earlier, you're not always going to beat Revan, and you're going to struggle a bit against Traya and CLS, but anything else, I mean, you're just going to tear them apart. I mean, that's like, if you can't defeat the meta teams, but you can at least remain competitive with them, and anything below those meta teams you can easily beat, you're one of the better teams in the game. Yeah, I see Chicken Bottom 1 says sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, the General Grievous team has zero legendary characters.
Mm-hmm.
None. I mean, every other meta team has a legendary character or a raid character on it, if not multiple ones.
Or a journey character.
I mean, or a journey character. Like, as far as how easy the team is to get and acquire, it's awfully damn good for how you can acquire the characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we pretty much get this team, I won't say at a bargain, because I mean 2 of them are like brand new characters, but I mean of this team, 3 of these were characters that we've had since forever.
Yes.
As Jim G72 says, no way a 3 reworks and 2 marquees was ever going to be the meta dominant. I mean, we got look at the CLS team. Well, no, the CLS team has a journey. But, I mean, at the same time, yeah, like...
Bastila Shan is maybe the only... Well, but even so, Grandmaster Yoda, never mind.
Grandmaster Yoda's a legendary, man.
Yeah, Grandmaster Yoda's legendary.
Yeah, that's true.
And even before that, most teams had Thrawn on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, we have to have the legendary and the journey characters feel like they're worthy of being legendary and journey characters. So, I mean, to this day, CLS and JTR are still some of the better teams out there.
The only counter argument I have to all of that is that for the longest time, before Fleet Arena, and even with Fleet Arena, General Grievous has always been one of the hardest characters to get outside of those 3 things we talked about. Journey, legendary, raid. General Grievous was hard to get. Now,
yeah, he's a very hard farm.
Now, you're at the point where he doesn't match up to those. Maybe he's not supposed to. But I think a lot of the expectation was that for him to be bad for so long when he was so hard to get from the start and not even usable, people wanted more from that.
Yeah,
but
so I've got a video. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that he's been moved up at this point to a spot that is agreeable to how hard he is. Now, is that as far up as everyone wanted him to be? Maybe not. And I guess we'll see with how things go in the next couple of weeks. But I think that he's definitely in a way better spot and way more usable than we ever had before.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got a video coming tomorrow called "The Grevious Offense," which, funnily enough, that's the name of your all's live stream tonight. Pretty much just talking about how we got into this mess with Grievous and performing below expectations. And I think there's a lot of different stuff that contributed to it. The initial hype. I mean, let's be honest, Grievous was hyped to all hell. Like, everyone was like, Grievous is coming. He's going to be fantastic. This is great. But also the Revan meta. We were so desperate.
Oh God, I'm so tired of it.
We are so desperate for something to replace Revan in the meta. We easily fell into
100%.
believing that Grievous was going to be the new meta. And because he wasn't, we've got these mass revolts. We've got people who are pissed off. Because we were so ready to believe that Grievous is going to be the new meta. And we were easily fooled into thinking that he would be that one.
No.
What if Grievous is the catalyst for, say, a dark side legendary droid or separatist character? And if so, who would it be? Like, would there be something like that could bring more out of Grievous? Because
I don't think the tags.
At this point,
at
this
who
point,
would you
no
have
one's suggesting that people go all in on droids. Like, you do these teams, it's a business model. So at this point, people don't feel like they need to go all in on these droids. How do they make people want to go all in on these droids?
So this is the problem, and this is when I talked about preparing for the General Grievous rework. I was like, guys, General Grievous is coming for his rework. That's happening. There is something coming behind him. We've seen this before. We had it with Chewbacca. Chewbacca came out, looked like a decent counter Traya, and CLS teams could beat Traya with Chewie in there. 2 weeks later, we got Jedi Knight Revan. And I said, guys, we're going to have the exact same pattern here. We're going to get General Grievous. 2 weeks later, we're going to get someone else. And before even the General Grievous rework comes out the door, we get the leak with the Gamorrean God. And obviously, that's some kind of Sith. And that's going to be our new meta. And that's the thing, is that's what I was warning. It's like, if you cannot get both Darth Revan or whoever that is and General Grievous, work on Darth Revan. Because that's going to be your meta. Grievous is going to be something that could, help start pushing towards the end of the Revan meta. But whatever comes after Grievous, that's going to be your meta. So focus on that character first. Focus on Grievous second. And I mean, that's pretty much what we've got coming now. So I mean, right now, I would not say don't focus on the droids. Once Kevin comes out, or we're assuming it's Dark Kevin.
I hope we call him Kevin forever, just saying.
I have been, ever since Jedi Revan came out, I call him Kevin. And it throws people off. They're like, who the hell is Kevin? Like, they're trying to figure out, going through the game, like, who's Kevin? And they're like, oh, it's Revan. But, yeah, I mean, focus on Kevin first. Once you're in a comfortable position to have the Dark Kevin team performing well, come back to Grievous, because the Grievous team is still going to be fine. It's still going to perform very well. It's going to be a fantastic, and they even said, I think Carrie even said in there, that it was intended for Grievous to be a very solid performing Grand Arena Territory War team. So you're gonna get your investment out of Grievous one way or another.
Yep, I think
good way of putting it.
I think that's a good way to end it. Going forward, we'll see how things end up in the next few weeks, and we'll cover that as far as what we see is going on and what people have come up with, and basically the heat index of General Grievous teams. But for now, we know that people aren't happy at the moment. I feel as though feelings will change over the next few weeks, but I think that's where we're at. So,
yeah.
I'm really curious to find out if I need to gear 12 Gamorrean Guard or not. So why don't we get into the trivia section here?
Gosh, how long? We've been going for 2.5 hours, man.
This is just what happens, man.
It's time for the sexy bearded duo to battle in their SWOGA knowledge in the most exciting trivia event in the Outer Rim. It's time for the Shattered Order Trivia. May the Force be with you.
Oh, God. Why?
You forget about the drops, don't you?
Every time it gets him. It hits him right in the feels.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It should have said the sexy bearded duo and McMole. So
You mean McMillan.
Oh yes,
That's
McMillan.
fair.
You know what? Anytime I mention you, even time I mention you, my wife's like, "How's McMillan doing?"
Oh, she remembers me.
McMillan's doing
Nice.
good. Oh, of course, man. She termed the McMillan phrase. So
That was funny. All right. Well, trivia time. Apparently, there are about 7 to 8 questions. These are all droid and target lock related questions. I saw in our poll for this week there was a comment about somebody wanting the, community style trivia back. If you have any suggestions, we are taking suggestions. As of
stay
now,
tuned to the poll next week because
there's
we're going to
not
have a
anything
question
to
in the
verify.
poll next week about your favorite type of trivia to go from there so we can figure that out.
Yes.
We really we know you guys love trivia, but there are different types and there's different ways we do it. So we want to know which one is the most adored, I guess. So this week we are talking about, spoiler alert, droids. Who's surprised? Anyone surprised here? All right, I
I am
didn't think
shocked.
so.
Absolutely
Yes.
flabbergasted.
So-
I did not
so-
see this coming.
From
I
a
would
Gear
have
12
never
Gam
guessed.
Guard perspective, I am scared of this now because I have not done anything with droids. So that'll be fun.
That's what I like to hear.
I'm sure you do. All right.
All right.
I don't have a piece of paper or a pen or nothing. All right. Give me 1 second.
So, Wink, how's it going?
Apparently, people like this idea of punishments regarding Zetas or Gear 12 characters. Ooh.
Yeah, it's an easy punishment. I mean, it's easy.
It is an easy punishment. That's true.
Yeah, yeah, and it's very painful. It's very satisfying to watch someone put a Zeta on someone like Rose.
Rose. Yeah.
Check out the
It's
end of
excruciating
our
to do, though.
out the end of our live stream last week where we did it live on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, where he puts the Zeta on Rose.
That was not
Yes. It was pretty. Well,
Yeah.
it was fun for me. I don't
good.
know.
How many beers did he shotgun to just like numb the
Not
pain,
enough.
stop feeling?
Well,
Not
zero
enough.
on screen. All right, here we go.
Afterwards,
Question
we're not
one.
going to talk about what happened, but
Yeah. He went to bed, he said. So I don't know what that means, but. All right, question one. All right, it's a riddle. We're going back to the riddles. McMole, I don't know if you know this, but over the last 2 episodes for our trivia, they were riddles. So apparently we brought back another riddle. Here it is.
Okay.
Were it not for me, your droids might take him down. Too many counters make your smile a frown. Sabine and Vader allow my safe use. Use me against CLS, and you'll want a truce. One more time. Were not for me, your droids might take him down. Too many counters make your smile a frown. Sabine and Vader allow my safe use. Use me against CLS, and you'll want a truce.
Do I get to participate?
Oh yeah, you do. Just write down your answer, and then we'll.
Yeah.
go
Write your answer down.
I need paper.
around. Now you know I went and got some.
Crap. Hang on. I'll be right back.
All right.
all right. Oh,
I just have to beat you or McMole, and
Man.
I don't even know if that's going to be a viable
I
option.
think it
there.
was finished. I think it was finished third is what the
Yeah,
official agreement was. Not 100%.
Right. So
Okay,
so if I
so-
beat you or him, then I'm good.
I don't have any paper here. Screw it. Write it on my hand.
Look, man, I'm writing on an envelope.
Well,
Hold on. Wait.
hey,
I
you
I
can
found
just
an
say your
instruction manual.
answer first. When we come to the answer part, you can
Okay.
say your answer first since we're writing them down.
Okay.
Man.
Is it possible to get that one more time?
All right, one more time. Here it is. Were it not for me, your droids might take him down. Too many counters make your smile a frown. Sabine and Vader allow my safe use. Use me against CLS, and you'll want a truce.
No, that's not gonna work. Shoot.
I'm
I
writing my
had it.
answer because if I don't, then I'll feel terrible if it's right.
Oh man, I can't even.
I have no idea.
Good old Maurice. McMole can borrow my quill.
This is what happens when you try to do riddles at 1:30 in the morning.
Also, Maurice, there are some Bernstein Bears back there actually. So, I'll maybe after the podcast we'll have some story time. All right. Where did our jazz go? Where did the cantina music go?
It's
Oh,
still
there.
playing.
Well, it
Yeah,
just
it's
came
still
back.
my
playing.
internet
It just
being
came back.
awful.
Okay, yeah, it was the internet. And it's gone again.
Yeah.
All right. Does everybody have an answer?
Not much I can do.
Yeah, I got nothing.
All right, Wink, do you have an answer?
Yeah, I got an answer.
All right, my answer is Wampa. What do you got? You got
I put
Treya.
Treya.
McMull, you want to make a guess just randomly out of that's not those two?
My initial thought was Rex.
All right.
I'm not sure why.
I know
I-
this
because
is supposed to be
I heard-
droid related, but
Yeah.
True. AoEs was the answer.
Really?
Let's go back. Let me read it again. AoEs is the answer. Were it not for me, your droids might take him down. Too many counters make your CLS a frown. Oh, sorry. Why did I say CLS? Too many counters make your smile a frown. Sabine and Vader allow my safe use. Use me against CLS and you'll want a truce.
Okay.
yep, that's
See,
pretty good. That
I
makes
was
sense.
I was totally thinking a character. I didn't think yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
I
think
was
game
too.
mechanics.
I need to remember these riddles can be anything.
Anything.
A debuff,
They were
yeah.
debuffs,
something,
buffs,
any-
everything. All right. Well, anyways.
Yeah.
Next question. Grievous lead grants turn meter for what, for whom?
Grievous. Sorry, say it one more time.
Grievous lead grants turn meter for what? For whom?
Okay. That one I know.
It's 2 points, so you get a point for whom and for what.
Like what causes the turn meter provide?
Yeah, you get a point for what causes the turn meter
Okay.
provision and for who it goes to.
Okay.
All right, I got my wrong answer.
Yeah, my answer's probably wrong too, but McMole, what's your answer?
Without looking at the screen, because I don't know if you guys are holding it up or not. Grievous provides 2% turn meter to all separatist droid allies, double for himself whenever a target locked enemy takes damage.
All right, what do you got, Wink?
I put separatist. I put separatist as the who and damaging target locked enemies as the end.
So Tesh is in the chat, so we're gonna need his ruling hand here. But I said droids, which is it's right? It's a half-truth. And I also put hitting debuffed enemies, which is also a half-truth. So I should get 1 point, right?
Oof.
We'll let Tesh determine that.
I don't
one.
know.
Because if not, it's
We'll
you both
let
have 2
Tesh
and I
decide.
have 0. Tesh, be nice.
Well, I think I should get 1.5.
Well, then
Because
you
I
get
said
both of them.
separatists, I didn't say separatist droids.
Oh yeah, you got a half-truth in there too. So that would be 1.5 for you.
No, it's well, I don't know. Mine's 100% true. It's just not
Well, so's mine with
that
droids.
precise. It's more vague than it.
So I get 1.5.
It's more vague than it should be, but it's 100% true.
All right, well, Tesh, you tell us what we got on that one. We'll move on to the next one.
All right.
Yeah, the answers were attacking target-locked enemies and for separatists and droid allies. Wait, separatists and droid allies. That means
Half
I
point.
did get
Half
it
point.
right.
Tesh says half point for each of you
all right.
for droids and separatists. In
So I
terms
got
of
a half
debuff
point.
and target lock, I'm not sure.
All right, so I got a half. Wink got a 1.5, and McMole got 2. I am in last. Hello, Gamorrean Guard. All right, next question. B1 assists A, all separatist allies, B, all droid allies, or C, all allies that are separatist droids.
Repeat it one more time. I was not paying attention.
B1 assists A, all separatist allies, B, all droid allies, C, all allies that are separatist droids. All right, I got my answer.
I got my answer.
Trying to remember. All right, I think I'm good.
All right, I said all droid allies.
All separatist allies.
I said separatist droid allies. C.
All right, so we all picked a different answer. All right, here we go. The answer is A, separatist allies. That goes to McMole.
Gosh, dang it, McMole.
This is, and
All
that's
right,
how McMole
so
never got invited back
McMole
on.
is now 3.
Guests, historically, guests have done really well on this.
That is very true. Yeah.
Unless your name is T
all
Money
right, so
or Good Old
McMole
Maurice.
has.
All right, next question.
McMole has 3 points. I have 1.5. Goodnight Punk has a half.
All right, question 3. B1 heals based on leader's health for which move? They're basic, they're special, or both?
Repeat it one more time.
B1 heals based on their leader's health for which move? They're basic, they're special, or both? I feel like I'm going to answer the one I think I know is right, and it's going to be totally wrong.
Okay, I got my answer.
All right, I got my answer. How about you, McMole?
I got my answer.
All right, what do you guys got?
Basic.
All right, what do you say?
Basic.
Basic. Same.
I said special.
Oh,
God.
Oh, GNP. No.
Uh-oh.
Nope. Well, there's that. Well, I'm still at a
And the
half
official
point.
answer?
Basic. B1's basic.
Ouch.
Hello, Gear 12 Gamorrean Guard.
Ouch.
The special is healed based off of his stacks of battalion.
Boo. All right. Question 4. Which droid can passively boost Grievous crit chance and crit damage?
Wait, say that one more time?
Which droid can passively boost Grievous crit chance and crit damage?
Oh. Oh.
I think I know this one, actually.
I have an answer. I don't know if it's right. Totally guessing.
Actually, I don't know. The phrasing I'm a little questionable on, but
Said crit chance and crit damage.
Yes.
yes.
All right.
I'm sticking with my answer because I think it should be correct. But
My answer is, McMole, you
McMole?
got an answer?
I don't have an answer for this one.
I answered B2
oh,
Super Battle Droid. What about you, Wink? What you got? HK.
I'm dying over here. I answered HK4.
He said HK47 for those of you who can't hear through the bad internet. How about you, McMole? You got an answer at the end here that's not B2 or HK?
No.
All right, the answer is... Here we go. T3M4. Actually.
Ah, son of a...
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on.
Hold on, we're holding on.
I was... So...
While we're
Does
holding on, let me say this.
vulnerability
And
not count as passive?
See. Okay, I can see it. Yeah, droid allies gain 8% potency and 8% crit chance, stacking each time T3 uses an ability. Also, droid allies have 8% crit damage for each debuff on the enemy team. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and HK only does crit chance. He doesn't do crit damage. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Test
Yeah.
says crit chance for each turn T3 takes and crit damage for debuffed enemies.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was so
Very-
caught up on separatist droids. I was like, I didn't even think outside of separatist droids.
Yep.
Not thinking outside the box.
Oh.
All right, no one got a point on that one.
Yeah, you really have to think outside the box
Which
on
means
these.
I get an extra
Oh,
point. So I'm at
man.
1.5 now.
Wow. Nice.
All right, oh, here we go. We got a lightning round, boys and girls.
Uh-oh.
We'll start. We're gonna go with the way it is on the screen. So it'll go McMole, me, then Wink. Lightning round goes like this: name all droids that have increased functionality when enemies have target lock. Use a moderator in chat, or just go 5 rounds each. Answers on the next slide. I'm going to... I don't think we have a moderator that will be fast enough, so I'm going to go around and do... We'll each answer, and then we'll each answer again. We'll do it 5 times. I'll write down all the answers, and we'll see who's got the most answers. So the question is, name all droids that have increased functionality when enemies have target lock. McMole, you're first.
B1.
Okay.
B1, I'm gonna go with IG 100.
I am going to go with General Grievous.
All right, you're up, McMole.
Imperial probe droid.
IPD. I'm gonna go with what's his name?
You gotta be a little more
Droid-
specific than that.
Droid Deca. There you go. That's his name.
Gotcha.
I heard it. I knew what I was talking about.
I will go with IG88.
All right, you're up. We're doing 3 rounds apparently, according to Tesh.
All right.
So this is your
T-
last answer.
T3M4.
T3M4. All right. I'll go with B. I don't know if I want to do that.
Can we get some... I'm sorry. Can we get some clarification? When they say increased functionality, what does that mean? Like, they have something that applies because of the target lock?
Yes, they do something to the opponent when they hit them, or they add buffs to their team because that person has target lock, or basically anything that involves target lock.
Okay.
Alright, so I'm gonna go with what is that dude? B2. You're up, Wink.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't think you were going to say that. So, since you decided to go with that, I think I will go with the droid by the name of. It's a really great name, too. L3.
L3. Does she have target lock?
L3 does not have anything with target lock.
I have no idea. I could not think of anyone else that had something with target lock, so I had to come up with a name.
So, are we counting droids that apply target lock?
Probably.
Or targets, because that's something that I needed to have some clarification on as well.
Here's my thing. If there's 5 rounds each, I think there's plenty of them that fit into this category. We only did 3 rounds, so I think we're probably all hitting the mark here. I don't know about L3, but I think there were plenty of options. So, I don't know about IG-100 because I don't remember anything from his kit, but I picked him so that I could pick less scarce ones or less on the mind ones like T3, IG-88, and IPD. We'll see.
Here's the thing. Tesh, double check with me on this. There's only 8 droids that either apply target lock or cause some kind of buff with target lock.
It looks like that's... I just flipped to the answer sheet, and that looks correct. So, yeah, there are 8. All right, so... All right, B1, which McMole got. B2, which I got. Droideka, which I got. Grievous, which Wink got. Magnagard, which I got. IG-88, which Wink got. IPD, which McMole got. And T3M4, which McMole got. So, that is 1 point each. 2 for Wink, which brings him to 4.5. I got 3, which brings me to 3.5. And McMole got 3, which brings him to 7. So the final standings, which means I have to gear 12 Gamorrean Guard, is McMole with 7 points, Wink with 4.5, me with 3.5. So I will enjoy my gear 12 Gamorrean Guard. I don't care what you guys say. And that's where we go from here.
I think I get to put a punishment on Wink too, since I beat him.
Oh God, I don't know. He might not be able to deal with any more punishments.
I did not agree to that.
Well, I have altered the deal.
I would not have bet you. Yeah. No. Yeah. I will pass. I'll make. All right, McMole. I will make you a deal. I will gear 12 General Grievous. How about that?
No. Nope. That's not what I want you to do.
Sorry, that's the best I'll give you.
Let me ask you a question. How's your
right.
clones looking right now?
All right.
Because
we'll have to work.
That ain't gonna happen.
I think you should put some gear 12 on Commander Cody.
On this, so nope.
Oh wait! There's a 6th question.
Oh.
I don't know why I stopped. Nothing has happened here. Nothing is final. Nothing is final here.
Premature celebration over here.
Okay.
Premature. All right, question 6. Name the droids that specifically have these benefits when an enemy has target lock. Lightning round style. Go one at a time, alternating turns. You may choose any from the list that hasn't been taken. No moderator necessary. Starting with Wink because he had the lowest points on the last question, going to McMole, then going to me.
Hold on. What's the question one more time? I didn't.
All right, I'll read the question and the benefits. Name the droids that specifically have these benefits when an enemy has target lock. Lightning round style. Go one at a time, alternating turns. You may choose any from this list that hasn't been taken. No moderator necessary. Minus 25% evasion. Irresistible debuffs, plus 50% health when attacking a target locked enemy, protection recovery, and plus 50% evasion against target locked enemies. So it looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total answers. There's 3 of us. We're all going until we figure out these answers. That's the way it goes.
All right. What was the? You said one that was plus 50% something.
Plus 50% health when attacking target locked enemies, and plus 50% evasion against target locked enemies. All right, so you're up first, and then we'll go to McMole.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to. This is hard to picture in my head, so I'm trying to bring up the freaking thing on the live stream and get what. Man, sucking. This is surprising. Let's see. I will go with Oh, this is so frustrating.
So there's 6 answers. We're only going to go around twice, and we'll see who gets the most right.
All right. Let's see. I will say. Read them off one more time.
Minus 25% evasion, 2 people. Irresistible debuffs. Plus 50% health when attacking a target locked enemy. Protection recovery. And plus 50% evasion against target locked enemies.
Okay, so I will go with the minus 25% evasion and say Droideca.
You got Droideca. You're up, McMole.
T3M4 has the unresistible debuff.
Okay. Do we need to list the debuff or just a character? Because if that's the case, I got no answers.
Oh,
I thought it was just picking
monkeys.
characters.
If it's,
I thought it was just picking characters.
T3M4 is ability block.
I'm going with. I'm just picking a character and not listing the debuff. I don't think you have to list the debuff. I think it's just if they fit into the mold.
Okay.
I'm going with B1. Alright, Wink. You're up. Tess says it's just the character. You don't have to list what they do.
Okay.
Wink, then McMole, then me.
General Grievous?
Alright, General Grievous. McMole.
B2. Did we already say B2?
Nope, I said B1.
Okay, B2.
And I'm going to say Droideca. No, you already said that. I will say
yes.
I'm gonna say IG-88.
Tesh wants to know which one did you go for with B1.
Which one did you go for? You said I didn't have to say which one. You just said I had to say the character.
They are.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you had to assign to a specific.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a specific bullet 3. 3 for B1.
Which is
50% health when attacking target locked enemy. Wink, you said which one for Droideca?
The evasion something.
Okay. B2, which one did you say, McMole?
I think that's a debuff. GNP, are you sure you want to put the plus 50% health on B1 attacking a target locked enemy?
I'm not sure about anything. I'm just guessing. So
I'm trying to throw you a lifeline here, man.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna go with protection recovery.
Okay.
For IG-88,
so does that mean
I'm going to go with evasion. What did you have for General Grievous there, Wink?
Hell, I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
So long ago.
Reread the options. I don't remember.
Minus 25% evasion, irresistible debuffs, plus 50% health when attacking target locked enemies, protection recovery, and plus 50% evasion against target locked enemies.
I don't think General Grievous is any of those.
Well, then
So
why
I don't
did you
know.
pick
Oh.
them?
Oh man, yeah, Tesh, this one is confusing as all get.
Oh, pick one.
All right, you're going with...
Well, it's also hard because I can't get the freaking thing up to even see it. I'm so frustrated
Wink
right
is
now.
saying 50% evasion. All right. Here we go. The answers are...
Okay, sure.
All right, so for T3 and 4, McMole said...
Did we go through all of them?
We did. Irresistible debuff, which he got right. I said B1 was protection recovery, which it was not. Droideca, you said it was 50% evasion, which it was actually protection recovery, so you got that one wrong. B2,
I got that one wrong.
McMole said irresistible debuff. It was actually minus 25% evasion. I said AG88 was number 5, which is 50% evasion against target locked enemies, which I got right. General Grievous, you said...
That one's hell.
He's not even on the list, so there's that. I got a point. McMole got a point. That brings me to 4.5.
Like I said.
To your 4.5. To McMole's 8. I did not lose. I'm not in last place.
All right, so I think what's gonna happen is Wink's gonna have to gear 12.
Is there another
Cody,
question?
And GMP is gonna have to gear 12 Gamorrean Guard.
I will be right back.
Nope, not gonna happen. Is there another question?
No, I think that's it.
God, this is a
Oh,
disaster.
Tesh, man, that one was confusing. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, they both have to do it with the tie. I always have to both do it with the tie.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't agree to it. But Goodnight Punk did finish in last. No one finished worse than him. Therefore, he is last. This is not arguable.
Well, technically, you both started. You were both in last place because you're both tied for 4.5 points.
Exactly. But
Right, so
I
you-
didn't.
so
But
you both
I
lost.
didn't make a bet to take anyone to gear 12, so I'm free and clear. But yeah, we both lost. But Goodnight Punk has to take Gamorrean Guard to gear 12. I don't. So. Yeah.
I think GMP is preparing himself for the gear 12 Gamorrean Guard.
I think he is. He's bound to be. He ran off to prepare himself. But yeah, that's so difficult not being able to see it. Well, I knew the plus 50% health was IG88, but I thought we had another round. I don't know. It's been so long since we did trivia this way because we went to Kahoot. Now we can't be on Kahoot. We need to refigure out how this stuff works because we have no idea what's going on. This is a disaster. Yeah, so we'll have to figure it out.
Oh.
What were you about to say, McMole?
Nothing. I just realized it's 2
McMole,
o'clock.
why don't you go ahead and plug your stuff?
Hi guys, my name is McMole2. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you
You
guys
have t-shirts.
I do have t-shirt. Well, sort of. I'm still working on it. I don't think I can actually technically sell these shirts because POW, but you know. No, but yeah, I mean, you guys may or may not have heard of me. McMole2. I've got a YouTube channel. Stop by, check it out sometime, covering Galaxy Heroes. If you guys want to find me on Patreon, patreon.com/McMole2. And yeah, I like hanging out with these two guys of Shattered Order every now and then. Yell at Wink about his clones and
Yeah. And
then yeah.
yeah, so I will put links to your Patreon, Discord, and YouTube all in the show notes. So if anyone has not heard of you, I will be disappointed, but they can also find you now. So
Yeah, I
check show notes
actually
for
have a
that once I get
Discord.me.
those up this week.
Yeah, I have a Discord.me
Discord.me/what?
Oh,
slash
fancy.
McMole2. It should be. Let me double check.
McMole2.
Wow, I did not see that coming. Nice.
Or maybe it's only McMole.
All right. Well, good night, Punk. You don't even know your own freaking Discord. Unbelievable. Good night, Punk. Do you have any more comments before we end this disaster of an end to our stream? It was so good for so long.
Watch our Twitter space because you will be seeing a golden Gamorrean guard very soon. Even though I tied Wink 4.5 to 4.5,
yeah,
I have no problem Gear 12 and Gamorrean guard. I love that guy. So
felt like
there you go. All right, so for everyone watching, we really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun. You guys have been really awesome in chat with a lot of really cool ideas and messages and thoughts on what we've said. So appreciate you guys. McMole, you're our buddy. We appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully we can get you back on again quicker than the last time. But yeah, so thanks for coming on, buddy.
I don't want to beat you guys so badly at trivia again, so it may have to be a while.
Maybe we let you have it. I don't know. I'm just saying. All right. Well, anyways. Anyone? Wink?
That's fair. Yeah. We like doing that with our guests.
Yeah, you know, it helps them feel better, you know? All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us, and we will talk to you all next week.
Bye.